Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. National Magic. Daily Check-In, specializing in thunder. Chapter 1. Chicken. In the Tianan province of Yan Kingdom, in the Los Angeles No. 1 Magic Middle School. A group of students gathered around and booed lively. On the training square of Nuoda, a jumping chicken with white and black colors is dodging back and forth quickly, appearing very flexible. And every time it dodged, a cluster of flames would explode from its original position. Zhang Hao, can you do it? Even a jumping chicken can't solve it. You don't want to eat the magic eggs laid by the jumping chicken tonight. Zhang Hao, who cast the first order flame magic, flame bomb, listened to the booing of his classmates, his face turned blue and red, and he looked very embarrassed. Zhang Hao is 20 meters away from Tiao Jizu. And it was this distance that forced his first-order flame attack magic to be unable to accurately and effectively hit the jumping chicken. This is a very common way of practicing magic in magic high schools. Among the first-order monsters, the speed of Tiao Taoji is very commendable. It is understandable that Zhang Hao couldn't hit it at a distance of 20 meters. But doesn't this kid have the magical talent of intermediate fast casting? Stupid. He is only at the first level, and his magic talent should not be stimulated to much level. Quote. While booing, the students were also discussing Zhang Hao's performance from time to time. Haha, Lu Ning, look quickly, this kid Zhang Hao has only used a few times of first-order magic in a row, and he looks like a kidney deficiency. I laughed so hard, haha. When a certain classmate who spoke just now talked about getting up, he patted the shoulder of the young man with dull eyes beside him. Is it really magic? Lu Ning stared blankly at the stranger Zhang Hao. In his line of sight, the classmate stretched out his right hand, and after the singing ended, the right palm was filled with flames, and immediately condensed a flaming ball that blasted towards the jumping chicken in front of him. Of course, Zhang Hao still missed. But the scene of raising his hand to cast magic shocked Lu Ning incomparably. Yes, Lu Ning is a time traveler. He just crossed over 20 hours ago, and thought it was a dream before, but the scene in front of him now makes Lu Ning completely believe that he has really time through. Another point, he has repeatedly confirmed many times that his current body is his own. That is to say, it is wearing. There are still 2 hours. Lu Ning replied perfunctorily to the classmate who patted him on the shoulder, thinking silently in his heart. When he just crossed over, a string of numbers appeared in his mind, 24 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Now the string of numbers becomes 2 hours 11 minutes and 23 seconds. It's a 24-hour countdown. Lu Ning felt a little troubled, because he didn't know what would happen when the countdown reached 0. Lu Ning silently left the practice field and came to a quiet small pavilion in the school. In the wild, the countdown came to 0. And the moment of 0. In Lu Ning's mind, a voice suddenly sounded. Ding, it's been checked that the host already possesses the elemental talent thunder and meets the conditions for the specialized check-in system to be activated. Single quote. Ding, the system is successfully activated, you have a chance to sign in for the first time, do you want to sign in now? Single quote. After listening to the content of the voice, Lu Ning was stunned for a few seconds, and then his eyes lit up. Appeared the golden finger of the traveler. The countdown is his golden finger. What type of rewards will I get for signing in? Lu Ning immediately asked a question in his mind. Answer the host, including but not limited to talents, abilities, moves, weapons and props, self-improvement, etc., but they are all related to the thunder element. Single quote. So that's how it is, because I have the elemental lightning talent, so I'm a lightning specialist signing in. Lu Ning immediately understood. He immediately stopped hesitating, and ordered, sign in. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the ability move Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic. Single quote. While receiving the reward, Lu Ning's own personal panel appeared in Lu Ning's mind. Host, Lu Ning. Boundary, none. Total magic power, none. Constitution, 100. Ordinary people's physique is 1. Talent, Thunder Apprentice increases a certain affinity for thunder elements. Ability moves, Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic. Weapon props, none. Looking at his personal panel, Lu Ning was briefly lost in thought. Of course he knew what the Lightning Dragon Slayer magic was. Magic that kills dragons, essentially transforms one's own constitution into that of a dragon. Lu Ning has no doubt that his original physical value should only be 1 point. After obtaining the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, it immediately increased by 100 times. And more importantly, this is by no means a fixed value, it can continue to increase. As for his talent of the thunder element, it seems that it is really no big deal. As for the state and the total amount of mana, there is nothing wrong with showing, none. After all, Lu Ning has never practiced. Think about it. Lu Ning didn't feel his fists clenched. He's so refreshed. On the first day of crossing, you can get Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. And the 24-hour countdown appeared again at this time, 23 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds. This means that Lu Ning will get another check-in reward after 24 hours. If it was a lightning type ability move of the same level or even higher than Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. Lu Ning was very excited just thinking about it. However, the most urgent thing is to temporarily figure out the specific worldview of this world. After a while, Lu Ning calmed down and thought of this in his heart. Then he stepped out. Boom! The stone slab under his feet was instantly torn apart, revealing a deeply sunken footprint pit. Lu Ning looked at his right foot in astonishment, only to realize that his strength had increased tremendously in a short period of time as his physique had improved 100-fold, causing him to break the stone slab without controlling his strength. He subconsciously glanced at his panel again. It was found that in the column of physique, the value of 100 became 101. Lu Ning was right. The Thunder Dragon Slayer magic has just begun, and his physique will continue to improve with the passage of time. No, it will continue to improve with his own performance and growth. The upper limit is hard to measure now, but it is definitely worth looking forward to. In this way, after adapting to the spot for a long time, Lu Ning was able to control his current strength well. He left his original position and immediately went to understand the current world view. After one night, Lu Ning also had a preliminary understanding of some worldviews in the current world. There are magic schools all over the world, everyone can learn magic, and some of them can awaken their own magical talent. The strength of magical talent also varies from person to person, so there is a so-called genius division based on this magical talent. Secondly, there are 3 behemoths in this world, namely the Yan Empire, the Huang Empire, and the Qian Empire where he is now. These 3 empires present a tripartite confrontation, and the other countries cannot be called the word country in the strict sense. The Yan Empire has a total population of about 1.8 billion, divided into 16 provinces, and Tianan province can be ranked in the top 3. In addition to these basic common sense of the world pattern, Lu Ning also learned something about magic. First of all, there are many newcomers to the magic in this world, and what he imagined. The mage who masters magic is not a crispy skin in the impression, but also has magic that focuses on improving physical strength. This is, of course, magic power is essentially a kind of extraordinary power. How can a human being with extraordinary strength be physically weak? So there is no such thing as the concept of a melee mage in this world, because mages probably know how to fight in close combat. In addition, it is about magic levels and casting. Levels are from level 1 to level 10, and above level 10 is ultra-level magic, also known as god-level magic, which is rumored to be magic that steps into the level of gods. The casting of magic is inseparable from proficiency, which is divided into 4 stages: entry, proficiency, and non-chanting. However, it is not necessary to achieve no singing proficiency to save the singing process, the proficiency stage is enough. The difference between the two is that the non-chanting can be performed with a single thought, while the proficient stage requires a quick and silent recitation of the chant in the heart. The moves I'm using to cast the dragon-slaying magic should belong to the non-chanting proficiency. Lu Ning whispered in his heart. He is currently suffering from the fact that he has not stored any magic power, so he cannot use the dragon-slaying magic moves for a while. But those moves seem to be familiar to him, he could use them with a single thought. At last, it's about the background of his current role in this world. Lu Ning, a magic student in class 3 and 2 of the number 1 magic middle school in Luokang, Tianan province. His magic level is first level, and his magic talent is magic power expansion. Store some total mana. The magic she majors in is body refining magic. This magic is to temper the body with magic power, which can be regarded as magic power training. Oh, by the way, it's no surprise that he is an orphan. Lu Ning is too lazy to complain about the fact that he lost his parents and became an orphan as a time traveler. But this is also good. Relatively simple interpersonal relationship can avoid a lot of trouble and oolong. I don't know if I can return to the original world in the end. Thinking of her parents, Lu Ning couldn't help feeling a little melancholy and dazed. After a while, he regained his composure. The cultivation of magic is nothing more than meditation and practice. Through meditation, mages absorb the magic power between heaven and earth and store it in their bodies. If you are a son from a wealthy family, you can take some specific magic potions to speed up the progress of your cultivation. Lu Ning wanted to buy the so-called elemental magic spar directly, but he didn't have the financial resources at all. He thought for a long time, and decided to try some ideas in his mind. Morning. Lu Ning skipped class, and he returned to the school dormitory with some batteries in his hand. Without any explanation, Lu Ning directly picked up a battery and bit it. Zzz. The battery leaked immediately, but it was absorbed by Lu Ning without exception. Dragon Slayer magic can absorb the magic power of the same element through swallowing, which can be used to restore physical strength and magic power. What Lu Ning wants to verify is whether this method can directly increase the upper limit of his total magic power. In other words, whether it is possible to take the path of swallowing and upgrading. Who wouldn't want to take the easy route of eating and drinking every day, signing in on time to receive rewards, and then getting all the way to invincibility? Well, it feels a little bit, but the battery is not enough. Lu Ning clicked his lips and looked at the socket in the room. Appeared. Bold ideas. My physique is changing towards that of a brontosaurus. It's not that high voltage electricity shouldn't pose any danger to me. Do you want to try? Lu Ning suddenly hesitated. But thinking that household voltage will bully ordinary people, the thoughts in my heart are more difficult to contain. He is not a mother-in-law character. With this thought in mind, he just stretched out his finger and inserted it into the socket. Buzz buzz. In an instant, electricity flowed along Lu Ning's fingers all over his body. I knew it. This feeling, excellent. Lu Ning's eyes lit up immediately, and he felt like his whole body was jolted up suddenly, and then he felt extremely refreshed. Ordinary electricity may not have anything to do with magic power, but it is indeed a power of elements. Lu Ning is always staring at his personal panel. As expected. On the column of total magic power, the numbers suddenly started to jump. In just 10 minutes, the total amount of magic power changed from 0 to 300, and continued to grow at a relatively stable rate. And the physical fitness value is also improving, and it has risen to 120 now. Lu Ning's fingers continued to be inserted into the socket like this, stealing the school's electricity crazily. Until 3 hours later, the trend of increasing the total amount of magic power began to slow down, and then gradually stopped. Look at the panel again. Boundary. Level 1. Total magic power. 1500. Physique. 150. Electricity with a normal voltage cannot bring about a qualitative improvement for Lu Ning, so naturally it is not an exaggerated leap to the realm. In order for a mage to advance to another level, in addition to the total amount of magic power, he must also pay attention to the quality of magic power. The magic power itself is also divided into levels. The purity of the magic power possessed by high-level mages is much higher than that of low-level mages. Even if they cast the same first-level magic, there will be a huge difference in power. Just stealing some electricity, naturally you can't count on Lu Ning's own magical quality to become pure and high-level. But at least he found a way to quickly increase his strength level. That is to eat. Ordinary electricity is not enough. What about high-voltage electricity, or even natural lightning, or some precious lightning attribute magic materials? Ha ha ha, high-voltage electricity, the days are getting more and more promising. Lu Ning withdrew his finger and left the dormitory refreshed. He has just traveled through time, and he is full of curiosity about this extraordinary magical world. From time to time, in the training room of the school. No one. Lu Ning walked in and saw that the training room was empty, which surprised him a bit. He also wanted to observe the daily cultivation methods of other students. Dynamometer. Lu Ning suddenly saw an instrument, and couldn't help but feel his heart skip a beat. Magic is a supernatural power. However, practicing and mastering magic does not depend entirely on hard work, it requires talent and comprehension. For the same level of magic, a genius may be able to understand it in a few days, while a mediocre person may be helpless after a few years. But absorbing magic power from heaven and earth, basically everyone in this world can succeed. This has given birth to some special mages who are not talented enough, but focus on improving their physical strength. In Lu Ning's cognition, they are like Naruto's mate Kai, who can't say a word about ninjutsu, but they can show a kick that almost ends in taijutsu. For this kind of body-refining mage, the body technique, attack is their magic, so strength is the most important thing for them. There are 5 magic high schools in Los Angeles, and the 5th magic high school has the largest number of body-refining mages. In terms of low emotional intelligence, the 5th middle school is full of mediocre magicians with poor grades, so they can only take the path of body training mage. Try. When Lu Ning came to the force measuring instrument, he simply punched it. Dee. The instrument vibrated, and then a string of numbers, 3,325 feet was displayed. A force of 3,325 kilograms. So exaggerated. What about the full strength? Lu Ning was taken aback. This power already belonged to the superhuman level in his world. He punched out again, this time, with all his strength. Dee. 5,514. The value of more than 5,000 kilograms made Lu Ning's eyes widen suddenly, and he really realized the real strength increase brought about by the dragon-slaying magic. Lu Ning became more and more excited. He began to think about what value the force measuring instrument would produce under the blessing of dragon-slaying magic. Thunder Dragon's collapsing fist. Thunderbolt. Lu Ning clenched his right fist, and lightning surged and jumped between his fists, like the shape of a dragon's claw. He punched it out. Then, there was a huge bang, and the force measuring instrument exploded under the punch. Not to mention the strength value, Lu Ning's punch directly smashed the school's force measuring instrument. It is power beyond imagination. It seems that I am not familiar enough with the lightning dragon slayer magic. Lu Ning sighed with emotion, looked left and right, and then quickly trotted out of the training room. Who are you? However, as soon as he walked out of the door of the training room, he bumped into a pretty girl with a sassy ponytail. Yang Yan looked at the young man in front of her, and was about to say hello, but found that the latter ignored her directly. She blinked involuntarily, then walked into the practice room. Goddess Yang Yan is back. Yeah, I just came back today. After all, it will soon be the unified examination for higher education institutes of magic. Hey, is this a genius? She became famous in the freshman year of high school, but in the end, she didn't meet a few times in the 3 years of high school. They were all practicing killing monsters outside. I heard that she has entered the 3rd level. So outrageous. What do you think? His magic talent is Flame Master, which is a high-level talent that can absorb fire elements without stopping, and the speed of practicing fire magic is even faster. Quote. At the door of the training room, people gradually gathered. After the news of the return of the extremely famous genius goddess Yang Yan from Los Angeles No. 1 high school spread, some admirers came over by coincidence, wanting to see the talent and beauty of the genius girl. As soon as Yang Yan came back, he blew up the force measuring instrument. At this time, a shocked shout came from the training room. When everyone heard the sound, they all moved closer to watch the excitement. Looking over, she saw that Yang Yan was looking at the force measuring instrument that was smashed by Lu Ning in front of her. She lowered her head and looked deep in thought. Crooked Sun, so exaggerated. Yang Yan is not a body refining mage, and there doesn't seem to be any trace of fire magic. Outrageous. It is not a body training mage who can blow up the force measuring device. If this is spread, those body training mages who persevere in torturing themselves every day may be hit hard. This is a genius. The force measuring instrument can measure a force of up to 10,000 kilograms, but if you want to explode the instrument like this, it must have a force far exceeding 10,000 kilograms. Yang Yan, amazing. Now I finally understand why other people always look envious and jealous when they talk about her and other geniuses. Now, I also feel this way. Quote. The The onlookers surrounded Yang Yan with unbelievably shocked expressions, which turned complicated and envious. There are quite a few admirers of Yang Yan, but at this time, they all have a feeling of inferiority. You misunderstood. When I came, this instrument was already like this. Yang Yan raised her head at this moment, and explained a sentence lightly. She is beautiful, has amazing talent, and has such a humble personality. She is really, I cried to death, woo-woo. But the people around didn't believe it at all. Seeing this, Yang Yan wanted to say something more, but in the end she didn't say anything. Is there such a powerful body refining mage in No. 1 middle school? It doesn't have to be a body refining mage, there are some remnants of thunder magic. The girl muttered, remembering the figure of Lu Ning who had just left the training room in a hurry. You don't know, Goddess Yang Yan from the first class, she is really amazing. Just after returning from training outside, she punched the force measuring instrument. That force measuring instrument can withstand a force of 10,000 kilograms. I heard that Yang Yan blew up the force measuring instrument with one finger. Your version is outdated. I heard that Yang Yan got a special opportunity to practice outside, and obtained a lost ancient body training magic. It's true, I was there at the time. Me too, I'm the dynamometer. Funny, funny. Quote. In a corner of the school, Lu Ning looked at the chat content of the class group on his mobile phone, with a strange expression on his face. Taking back the phone, Lu Ning didn't care too much. He himself has no idea of hiding his own strength and then suddenly becoming a blockbuster at a certain moment. It's just that I don't know enough about the current world, so I act relatively conservatively. If he affirms that the world favors geniuses can get unimaginable welfare treatment, then Lu Ning will definitely create an identity for himself as a peerless genius. The only thing you need to pay attention to is nothing more than that your daily check-in cheats should not be exposed. Sign in. Ding. Congratulations to the host for getting self-improvement from the daily sign-in gift package, total magic power plus 1000. Lu Ning watched the increase and change of the total magic power value on the panel, with a slightly disappointed expression on his face. This is the second daily check-in, but compared to the acquisition of a level ability move like Dragon Slayer magic, it really pales in comparison. But it doesn't matter, after all, there is a check-in every 24 hours. After a long time, he will naturally accumulate a lot of his own background. At this moment, Lu Ning is staying in the school dormitory, and he is learning some common sense of the world through the internet. First of all, it is certain that, in such a magical world, there is indeed a force gathered by mages, which is the Magic Guild. And in addition to the Magic Guild, young mages like him can also go to the Magic Academy of the Empire, or join the Magic Army of the Empire, etc. There are many choices. And without exception, these so-called forces attach great importance to geniuses. Even in Los Angeles No. 1 Magic Middle School, the school pays great attention to the cultivation of gifted students, and there are often bursaries given to gifted students as benefits. Having the genius label does have a lot of benefits. Lu Ning got such a fact. Come to think of it, no matter which world you are in, geniuses are always favored and valued. This made Lu Ning a little moved, thinking that in a few days, he could show part of his strength to the school to gain attention. After all, Dragon Slayer magic can be quickly improved to a certain extent by eating. With such a thought in mind, Lu Ning spent today. Next morning, Lu Ning, are you up yet? There was a knock on the door of Lu Ning's dormitory room. When I opened the door, it was my classmate Zhang Chuan. He was wearing the graduate magic robe given by the school, and was looking at Lu Ning excitedly. What's wrong? Lu Ning asked. Did you forget? Today is the admissions day of the Magic Guild. Hurry up and change your clothes. The admissions representatives from the Magic Guild are already in place. Zhang Chuan immediately gave him a puzzled look. Lu Ning didn't say much, and simply put on his graduation robe, and left the dormitory building with this classmate he was not familiar with. In the lobby of the campus office building, it was very lively at the moment. More than 1,000 senior high school graduates were actively introducing themselves to the admission representatives of the Magic Guild. The largest magic guild in Tianan province is called Tianan Guild. It can even be said that it has the same origin as Tianan College. It is almost impossible for us to pass the college unified examination to enter Tianan College, but if you pass the enrollment if you enter the Tianan Magic Guild in this way, then the road ahead will be much smoother. Zhang Chuan looked excitedly at the overcrowded Tianan Guild admissions entrance, his eyes full of anticipation. Lu Ning listened to his words and absorbed some of the information. After a while, Lu Ning asked, "Can anyone take the college unified examination?" Zhang Chuan nodded and replied, "Of course, but the content of the unified examination is hunting monsters, so there is a danger of death, and the minimum threshold for entering Tianan College is a second-level mage level, which is too difficult." After he finished speaking, he dragged Lu Ning to the entrance of a magic guild. "Hi, my name is Zhang Chuan, and here is my school transcript and my tutor's comments." He handed over his personal profile to the admissions representative of the Magic Guild with both hands respectfully. "Hello Zhang Chuan, we will reply to you within 3 working days." The admissions representative took it with a smile on his face, and then looked at Lu Ning next to Zhang Chuan with an undiminished smile. This is just a not-so-famous magic guild in Tianan province. Lu Ning was not familiar with this, and he hadn't prepared his personal profile, so naturally he didn't take any action. Don't be too high-minded. For students like us with ordinary talents and savvy, the best way is to join a magic guild after graduating from high school, and then follow their seniors from the magic guild to hunt and kill monsters to earn money, and then use the money buy magic potions and magic skill books to improve your strength. Lu Ning, I guess you want to go to the college unified examination in your heart. Although I won't stop you, you have to think about it. The college unified examination is really not something that ordinary people dare to go. There are millions of graduates every year, but less than 1/10 dare to take the college entrance examination. Zhang Chuan is obviously a chatterbox, and he can't stop talking. Is the academy better or the guild? Lu Ning asked suddenly. Zhang Chuan was taken aback when he heard the words, then shrugged his shoulders and said, "Of course the academy is better." The 16 provinces of the Yan Empire correspond to 16 higher magic academies, among which Tianan Academy can always be ranked in the top 3. Apart from these 16 higher magic academies, there is no so-called magic university. The college has a high degree of freedom, unlike the Magic Guild, which needs to complete tasks according to the guild's instructions, otherwise it will be kicked out of the guild. The college is also a representative of the rich and powerful, and it spares no effort in cultivating talented students, with a lot of benefits. But after graduating from the academy, most people will still join the Magic Guild in the end. Now we join the guild directly, saving 4 years of detours. Seeing Lu Ning's excited look, Zhang Chuan immediately patted him and said jokingly. From Zhang Chuan's point of view, it is too dangerous for a first-order mage to participate in the college's unified examination. Go over there and have a look. Lu Ning changed the subject and walked towards the admissions entrance of the Tianan Magic Guild. Most of the graduates here are here to watch the fun. Tianan Magic Guild is facing talented students from every magic middle school, and these talented students will also enter Tianan Magic Academy without accident. It is impossible to lower the standard to recruit general guild members. Lu Ning and Zhang Chuan squeezed through the crowd, and Zhang Chuan yelled, "Yang Yan, Wang Chong, Wu Luwu, Lin Shanshan, and Lu Feng. Sure enough, these geniuses will definitely join Tianan Academy of Magic." Surrounded by a group of students, there were more than a dozen people, all of whom were gifted students from Los Angeles No. 1 middle school, generally at the level of a third-tier mage. The admissions representative of the Tianan Magic Association is a beautiful big sister who is full of imperial style. Her job is very simple, and students don't even need to submit their resumes, they only need to register their names, and Tianan Guild will adjust the information by itself. It's just that, except for the dozen or so geniuses, everyone else has self-knowledge and won't sign up. "Hi, Lu Ning, Class 2, Grade 3, I want to join Tianan Guild." Lu Ning stepped forward and signed up very naturally. If you join other guilds, you cannot take the college examination, but Tianan Guild does not have this restriction, so there is no conflict between the two. Lu Ning's actions attracted the attention of others. Yang Yan looked at Lu Ning, her beautiful eyes flickered, and she clearly recognized that Lu Ning was the one who exploded the force measuring instrument. "Hi, student Lu Ning, I'm Yang Yan. Yang Yan paused slightly, but still took the initiative to say hello to Lu Ning. Hello. Lu Ning turned to look at Yang Yan, and replied simply. Yang Yan took the initiative to say hello, which attracted more attention from Lu Ning. Okay, student Lu Ning, we will take the initiative to inform you when there is a result. The admissions representative of the pretty big sister showed a professional smile and wrote down Lu Ning's name. Under the gaze of all the astonished and strange eyes, Lu Ning left the admissions hall calmly. Yan Yan, do you know him? After Lu Ning left, a teenager next to Yang Yan raised his eyebrows and asked a seemingly casual question. His name is Wang Chong, and he is quite famous in Los Angeles number 1 high school. He has been labeled a genius since the first year of high school. Wang Chong was naturally surprised. He basically has acquaintances with famous geniuses in No. 1 middle school. This sudden appearance of a student from the same school who dared to apply to join the Tianan Magic Guild will of course attract his attention. Just getting to know each other by the way. Yang Yan didn't say much, but just replied lightly. Seeing this, Wang Chong did not continue to ask. Instead, he moved on to other topics, saying, although we are likely to be absorbed by the Tianan Guild, we still have to take the college unified examination. If we get a very high score in the unified examination, then we will receive a lot of attention from the guild in the future. Yang Yan nodded, and replied with a small smile on the corner of her mouth, well, I am also looking forward to the college unified examination. Wang Daishan, can you let me know? Although the college's annual unified examination is said to be hunting monsters, the specific content is never announced. The students around took this opportunity to ask boldly. When Wang Chong heard this, he smiled and chatted with them. Soon after, in a corner of the admissions hall, Lu Ning, oh, he is indeed taking the route of a body refining mage, but his magic talent is average, and he is only at the first level now. Zhang Chuan looked at the pretty lady in front of him curiously, and was surprised that she took the initiative to ask him about Lu Ning. Seeing that Yang Yan was in deep thought, he couldn't help but continued to ask, Student Yang, are you and Lu Ning? It's nothing, I'm just interested in body training magic. Yang Yan pursed her lips and smiled, thanked her and left. She didn't lie, it was precisely because she was interested in body training magic that she became curious about Lu Ning, who could blow up the force measuring instrument. Look at Lu Ning again. After he left the admissions hall, he left the campus and made a circle outside the city. The architectural style of the whole city is naturally thoroughly modernized. However, there are often indispensable magic elements in modern urban construction. He could even see a mage riding a monster walking calmly on the street. I also saw a mage galloping in the sky using wind magic. This world really does not hide the existence of extraordinary power. Lu Ning was looking for high-voltage electricity, thinking about continuing to steal electricity to improve it, but he found it, but there was a so-called magic puppet standing guard nearby, which made him unable to do anything and had to give up. By the time we got back to school, it was dusk. With the golden fingers who sign in every day, you don't have to worry about improving your strength. On the contrary, your combat skills and proficiency are the key. With this in mind, Lu Ning came to the school training ground and began to practice his fighting skills. Some of the moves of Dragon Slayer magic are indeed familiar, but if they haven't been honed in actual combat, there will always be something missing. So proficiency in fighting is the current focus of Lu Ning. There are still 10 days left for the college entrance examination. Lu Ning has decided to take the college entrance examination in 10 days' time as a springboard for himself. Time flies, and in a blink of an eye it is approaching the day of the college entrance examination. Sign in. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting the ability move from the daily check-in, Electric Light and Stone Fire. This is the 10th check-in result in 10 days. Lu Ning looked at the new ability move, which is derived from Qi Ya's Change Link ability move in Hunter x Hunter, which stimulates itself through electricity, making the physical body forcefully exert its ability to move beyond the limit in a short period of time. Both speed and strength will be strengthened in a short period of time, with an emphasis on speed. This ability move does not overlap with dragon slaying magic, on the contrary it can even be said to be an auxiliary status skill. In addition to Electric Light and Stone Fire, Lu Ning also drew 2 other ability moves in the 10 check-ins. They are attack moves, Breaking Wave 4, White Thunder, and defensive moves, ninjutsu, Thunder Escape Body. The former can only be said to be a small skill, but the latter is very famous, and it can be called a powerful skill. If Lu Ning remembers correctly, the defense of this Thunder Escape Body can forcibly resist the tailed beast Jade, and it is known as the strongest shield. And besides the defense, the Thunder Escape Body can also have amazing performance in terms of speed. It is true that Dragon Slayer magic enhances physical fitness, but it only improves the ability to resist attacks, and there is no obvious defensive move. Being able to resist attacks is a form of defense, but defensive moves are also a form of defense. Naturally, the more defensive means, the better. With the sign-in proceeds. At first, Lu Ning still thought that the abilities and moves he could get from the daily check-in gift pack were all derived from some anime fantasy works in his own cognition. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. Because of the remaining 7 check-ins, except for the 4 times which were self-improvement of the total amount of magic power, the other 3 times were some lightning-type props. They are Lightning Talisman, Sky Thunder Sun, and Lightning Wood, respectively. Among the 3 props, the Thunderbolt Talisman involves Taoism, and the latter is a fantasy novel involving self-cognition. This pattern is opened at once. If I get some 5 Thunder Rectification Method or a higher level Shenxiao 36 Thunder in the future, I can wake up laughing from a dream. Tianlizi is a one-time consumption item, and its lethality is comparable to that of a high explosive grenade. Well, it can be used to injure people. The lightning wood is even more interesting, it can completely induce natural lightning to eat. Lu Ning was thinking about the use of props. Although the Thunder Talisman is not a one-time use, it can only be used up to 5 times. In addition to his own background, Duan Yi, a foreigner, will increase as the number of check-ins increases. And I've reached Tier 3 now. Lu Ning thought happily. His personal panel is as follows. Host, Lu Ning. Realm, Tier 3. Total magic power, 11,000. Constitution, 210. Talent, Thunder Apprentice, increases a certain affinity for thunder elements. Ability moves, Lightning Dragon Slayer Magic, White Thunder, Lightning Shield, Lightning Fire. Weapons and props, Yulei Talisman, Tianlizi, Leiyinmu. The total amount of magic power increases very quickly, thanks to the fact that every time Lu Ning acquires an ability move, the total amount of magic power will increase to a certain extent. Again, the total amount of magic power is not the only measure of combat power, the quality of magic power is also the top priority. After all, the higher the quality of magic power, the stronger the power of Lu Ning's lightning-type moves. As for now, Lu Ning has not found a way to significantly improve the quality of mana, but there may be unexpected gains through the eating of dragon-slaying magic. Ding! When thinking of this, Lu Ning's mobile phone received a notification. The Unified Examination of Tianan Academy of Magic will be officially held in 5 hours. Please arrive at the teleportation hall in your city in advance to report. Single quote. The examination room of the College Unified Examination is outside the city. But the existence of the magic teleportation array will completely save time on the road, and the teleportation location is also completely random. This means that from the moment you step into the magic teleportation array, it is already the beginning of the college entrance examination. After receiving the SMS notification, Lu Ning simply left the school and went to the magic teleportation hall. When he came to the location of the magic teleportation hall, suddenly, I found that the place looked like a sea of people. The candidates who wanted to take the college unified examination lined up in a very orderly queue, and on both sides were the parents of the candidates. The college entrance examination is dangerous, and it is not low. There are not a few candidates who die in the college unified examination every year. But even so, the number of candidates for the coming year will still not decrease, because everyone knows that there are too many benefits of becoming Tianan Academy of Magic. It should be mentioned that Magic High School is not compulsory education, and the tuition fee is not low, and you even have to pay for the college unified examination. The reason for the payment of the unified examination fee is very simple, that is, during the unified examination process, the value of the monsters killed by candidates belongs to them. Lu Ning does not need to pay the fee, the school will help him pay it, which is part of the tuition fee. In addition, students who are eligible to participate in the college unified examination and do not specify a magic middle school, as long as they are under the age of 18, they can participate by paying the fee. Lu Ning lined up silently. Looking at the choked-up instructions of the parents around him, he didn't know what he was thinking for a while. "Hello classmate, please give me your unified examination certificate." After a while, a young man came to his place and said something to him. Lu Ning submitted his unified examination certificate, and the other party briefly recorded it, and then gave Lu Ning a wristband of unknown material. This is a special magic prop. It is equivalent to having a marking function. The young man then continued to ask, "Students, you already know the specific rules of the unified examination, right?" Lu Ning nodded. He was preparing to take the unified examination 10 days ago, so he naturally has a thorough understanding of this aspect. Seeing that Lu Ning nodded, the young man began to ask for the unified examination certificate from the candidates behind him. College examination rules are not cumbersome. 1. You can't deliberately kill other candidates. 2. Magic props and magic potions that enhance strength are not allowed, but low-level recovery magic potions are not subject to this restriction. 3. You can team up. 4th, the unified examination lasts for 3 days. During this period, no matter whether you are injured or trapped, you will not get rescue from the college. Only after 3 days pass will there be rescue. 5th, this year Tianan Academy will enroll more than 3,000 students. It adopts a scoring system with a total score of 120 points. The top 3,000 candidates will be admitted to the Academy of Magic. 6. Special circumstances. The strength level of monsters in the examination room area is strictly controlled at levels 1 to 4. Only when a level 5 monster appears unexpectedly, the college will rescue it. 7. There will be rewards for the top 20 rankings, but this has not been announced. It didn't say what would happen to the candidate's death, so it probably doesn't need to go into too much detail. To Lu Ning's surprise, the unified examination of Tianan Academy of Magic is a large-scale examination, and tens of thousands of candidates are assigned to the examination room outside the city, so what standards should be used to score the candidates? He harbored such doubts. Soon, there is no team in sight, only a huge hall. There are very obvious traces of magic circles on the floor of the hall, similar to a pentagram but more complicated. Oracle bones. Lu Ning was suddenly a little surprised. Looking at the structure of the teleportation array, he could clearly see the existence of some ancient characters, but those ancient characters were very similar to the oracle bone inscriptions in his impression. Listen well, everything in the examination room is under the supervision of the college, so don't be smart and do things that violate the rules. A certain examiner in the teleportation hall shouted loudly at this moment. Then the examiner signaled Lu Ning and the other 999 candidates to stand up. Such a large magic teleportation array can teleport up to 1,000 people at a time. The one in Tianan City is even more exaggerated, it can teleport up to 3,000 people at the same time. Before he had time to feel the teleportation array, he saw light shining all around him, and then he felt a sense of upside down. When this uncomfortable feeling faded away, Lu Ning saw a wild mountain range in front of him. He was randomly teleported to a certain corner of the examination room, which meant that the unified examination officially started. What is that? Lu Ning looked up, and suddenly found a huge and translucent eyelashless eye above the sky. At the same time, Tianan City. In the unified examination hall of Tianan College, busy figures shuttled back and forth. Dozens of deputy examiners sat quietly in their seats, looking at the front with a little expectation. The 7th level special magic, the Eye of Sky Inspection, has been prepared and will be controlled by Senior Kianyan in real time. The test of the effect of the Eye of Surveillance in the sky will now begin. Examination number 9524, examinee, Han Yinlong, please give me the real-time follow-up screen of this examinee. An examiner held a stack of candidates' materials in his hand, and randomly selected a candidate's materials from it. As soon as the examiner finished speaking, he saw a picture appearing in front of his eyes immediately. The clarity was as if he was on the scene. The viewing angle is almost 360 degrees without dead angles. In the surveillance screen, a teenager is looking around vigilantly. Test number 01, candidate, Su Zhen. The examiner took another candidate profile. Similarly, a specific monitoring screen of candidates in the examination room appeared before his eyes again. After that, it was carried out several times to confirm that the effect of this special 7th order magic is normal. Okay, now the main monitoring random screen will be expanded, and the screen will be changed every 30 seconds. In the center of the unified examination hall, 100 monitoring screens were unfolded, corresponding to 100 candidates. Associate monitor, 50 left, 50 right, monitor the battle screen unfolding. On the left and right sides, 50 monitoring screens appeared at the same time, but only 10 had content at the moment. In these 10 monitoring screens, the examinees inside had already started to encounter and fight with the monsters in the examination room. The eyes of the assistant examiners immediately focused on the battle scene. The total score of the unified examination is 120 points, divided into 6 items, namely combat power, total magic power, magic use, adaptability, physical strength, and realm level, each with 20 points. Through the special magic of the Sky Watching Eye, these assistant examiners can each give candidates a relatively reasonable score in a very short period of time with their rich experience. Lu Ning looked away from the one-eyed eye in the sky, and he guessed something. The smell of blood. At this time, Lu Ning's nose moved slightly, smelling a more obvious smell of blood. With the help of dragon-slaying magic, Lu Ning's physique is gradually turning into a dragon's physique, and the 5 senses are naturally enhanced, especially the sense of smell. After determining the direction of the bloody smell, Lu Ning walked over there without hesitation. Status magic primary slow. Status magic weakness. Status magic primary 5 senses closed. When Lu Ning came to the place where the smell of blood was, he happened to hear the voice of chanting magic. Status magic, not most elemental magic. When hearing this magic chant, Lu Ning felt a little curious. There are many types of magic, and even new types of magic appear every year. As an original force, magic power represents the foundation of the world's extraordinary power, and what kind of buildings to build on the foundation depends entirely on the mage's own play. In terms of power, high-level elemental magic needless to say. In terms of weirdness, there are also curse magic, blood magic, divination magic and so on. In terms of cumbersomeness, there are all kinds of magic circles, magic weapons and props. In terms of speciality, space and even rule-based magic involving time also exist. The front view is completely opened. What caught Lu Ning's eyes was a cute girl with short hair. Her right leg was injured and was bleeding profusely. This short-haired girl is being attacked by a monster. The monster looked weird, with some body parts of wolves and mice, and it was covered with a faint black mist. Tier 2 Warcraft Shadow Werewolf. Lu Ning, who had learned a lot of common sense before, recognized this monster. The shadow werewolf is not a powerful monster, but it is good at hiding itself, and the main way to hunt prey is to rely on its innate sneak attack ability. Judging from the current situation, the short-haired girl was obviously attacked by the shadow werewolf, and her right leg was almost bitten off. For monsters with special abilities, the monster materials on them are often valuable. Seeing that the short-haired girl hadn't killed the shadow werewolf for a long time, Lu Ning just used status magic to debuff the opponent, so she made a quick move. Lu Ning stretched out his right finger slightly, and the white thunder began to jump. Immediately, with a bang, a cluster of 3-finger-thick white lightning arcs shot out, hitting the shadow weasel's head with astonishment, and pierced through it. The power of this broken way is stronger than I imagined. Lu Ning glanced at his fingers. Even though the shadow werewolf was restrained, the power of the move of the 4th breaker by Lei exceeded Lu Ning's expectations. He just made a tentative blow just now. The short-haired girl Kai Si watched the shadow weasel being killed, and she couldn't help showing a trace of relaxation on her cute face. Immediately afterwards, she saw a young man walk up to the corpse of the monster and take down the most precious material of the monster. With the surveillance eyes of the sky, the monster you killed will be counted on you after the unified examination. There is no need to collect materials. Seeing this, Kai Si said something strange. That's right. After hearing this, Lu Ning put down the World of Warcraft material with some embarrassment. What level are you? Kai Si continued to ask. Tier 3. Kai Si immediately smiled sweetly and said. Tier 3. Not weak anymore. let's make a deal, you stay here to protect me for a few hours, and wait for my companion to come over. The scene just now was too fast, and she didn't have time to tell which level of magic the young man in front of her was casting. But the thunder magic is at the top of the destructive power ranking among the elemental magic. Lu Ning could tell that it wasn't the first time that the other party faced a monster, and even in the injured state they were very calm. So, what's the reward? Lu Ning asked along the way. 100,000 flame coins. 200,000, 3 hours. Seeing that the other party answered so simply, Lu Ning raised the price symbolically. Make a deal. Kai Si had no intention of bargaining at all, but she seemed to see that Lu Ning was a bit of a noob, so she reminded, this is a transaction witnessed by the surveillance eyes of the sky. If you violate it, it will greatly affect the examiner's understanding of the situation. Your rating. Good. Lu Ning nodded, and then he looked around, wary of the sudden attack of monsters like the shadow werewolf. Call out. Boom. And at this moment, a magic bomb suddenly rose into the air behind him, and a gorgeous firework exploded. This is a signal, otherwise my companions would not be able to find me. Kai Si explained briefly, and murmured softly. Really, I was attacked just after teleportation, and my luck is too bad. Lu Ning listened to her whispered complaints, but looked at the girl really carefully. Her chubby face looks harmless to humans and animals, her facial features are very delicate but still childish, she is about 1.6 meters tall, and she is wearing a loose mage robe. At this moment, the golden bracelet on Kai Si's wrist suddenly shone with light, and then a bottle of magic potion appeared in her hand. A storage-type magic item. Lu Ning was startled, this girl might not be a little rich woman. Kai Si poured the magic potion on her injured right leg, and at the same time cast a first-order healing magic, primary healing. Under the blessing of both the magic potion and the healing magic, the bloody right leg quickly returned to a pink and white appearance. Lu Ning couldn't help being a little surprised by her operation, so she took a few more glances. After Kai Si was cured, she gave Lu Ning a fierce look and said, "Do you like staring at girls' legs like this?" Lu Ning shrugged and didn't say anything. He was just making some extra money. After all, the shadow werewolf is a tier 2 monster, and its special monster materials are only worth about 100,000 yuan. After earning money, buy some thunder-type monster materials or magic potions to see if they can improve their magic power level. Neither Kai Si nor Lu Ning are familiar characters. Therefore, the two of them remained silent, waiting for Kai Si's teammates to appear. Kai Si is that girl with a very high talent for auxiliary magic. She has good adaptability on the spot. Even if the young man didn't make a rescue, the shadow werewolf couldn't do anything to her. The deputy examiners looked at a monitoring screen of the deputy monitor and began to communicate in a low voice. Kai Si's reputation in Tianan City is really not small, mainly because of her magical talent. Magic talent auxiliary star. When casting auxiliary or status type magic, the effect will be increased by 1 to 3 times, and when learning this type of magic, there will be an obvious bonus in perception. In other words, Kai Si, a girl, was a natural assistant mage. As far as the early stage of her personal mage career is concerned, she herself is extremely dependent on her teammates. When her realm level rises and the types of magic she masters are not only auxiliary, status magic, then she will be completely self-sufficient and act as a combat power nurse. 10 minutes later, Lu Ning took the initiative to speak, pointed to the sky and said, "Did the sky surveillance eye you mentioned just now refer to the one above?" Kai Si nodded and replied, "Well, that is a 7th level special magic. Although it is a 7th level magic, it requires extremely high mental strength. It is precisely because of the existence of this magic that this kind of large-scale examination room and large-scale unified examination can be carried out." Lu Ning pondered for a while, and then said, "Then what is the examiner's evaluation you mentioned just now?" Hearing this, a strange expression appeared on Kai Si's lovely face. The results of the unified examination are based on a point system, with a total score of 120 points, but there are also hidden points. Hidden points. Lu Ning became more and more excited as he listened. The Academy is addicted to scoring this, right? That's right, character and morality are one kind, but the most important thing is whether you kill a 4th-order monster or not. Only when you kill a 4th-order monster will you be given hidden points. This hidden point is the key to ranking in the top 20. Get a full score of 120 points, but you haven't killed a 4th order monster, and you won't be able to rank in the top 20. Hidden points can also be triggered by teaming up to hunt tier 4 monsters. Kai Si then added. Speaking of this, she suddenly said, I'm not teaming up with you. Lu Ning didn't care, but replied with a smile, I have been practicing in school, and most of these things are learned through the internet. I still have a lot of people who are not clear, can you tell me about it? Cultivation mad. That's fine. Kai Si was a little stunned. It was really impossible to understand these things about the college's unified examination just through the internet. Then, in the conversation with Kai Si, Lu Ning also learned a lot of useful things. For example, the college unified examination clearly stipulates that killing people is not allowed, but it does not stipulate that fighting between candidates cannot be broken out. On the contrary, the Academy is happy to see this scene. If you can beat candidates of the same level during the unified examination, you will also get a lot of bonus points. But for a fighting type like Lu Ning who bullies an auxiliary type like Kai Si, not to mention the bonus points, it is thankful that the points are not reduced. In addition, the examination room is divided into several areas, and it is impossible to walk through one area in 3 days. Only the 4th order monsters can be found in the center of each area. And one more thing. While Lu Ning was digesting some information he got from Kai Si, when he was about to speak, his eyes suddenly froze and the corners of his eyes glanced backward. Call out. The moment his eyes turned, a very sharp sound of piercing suddenly resounded. Kai Si stared even more beautifully, only to feel that a golden light was fleeting, and only after her eyes were locked did she realize that the owner of the golden light was a golden long sword. And the golden long sword was inserted at Lu Ning's feet, shaking clankly. Dude, flirting with girls during the unified examination. If you were serious just now, you would already be a corpse. A light laugh sounded at this moment, and a young man with short hair walked slowly behind. The young man with sword eyebrows and star eyes is handsome and extraordinary, with obvious confidence on his face. Qin Zhanfang clasped his arms around his chest, walked forward a few steps, then stopped, hooked his chin provocatively, and looked at Lu Ning from afar. Sword magic. Kai Si came back to her senses, and looked at the handsome young man in front of her in surprise. Sword magic belongs to the metal magic, and it also belongs to weapon magic, but its attack power is extremely powerful, and it requires talent and understanding. Only a few people can master it. People who can master sword magic are definitely among the best in the same level of combat power. If it is described by Lu Ning's cognition, sword magic is similar to the method used by immortal cultivators to attack with swords. It kills enemies thousands of miles away, whether it is instant killing or flying a kite, they are all extremely powerful. Who are you? There are only a few sword magicians in Tianan province, and you are not among them. Kai Si asked. When Qin Zhanfang heard the words, he immediately grinned and said, My name is Qin Zhanfang, and I come from the Huang Empire. Lu Ning couldn't help being a little surprised after hearing this. The Yan Empire, the Huang Empire, and the Qian Empire stand up against each other and divide the world equally. This person from the Huang Empire came to the Yan Empire to take the unified examination of what college? Huang Empire. I haven't heard of it. What do you want to do? Kai Si immediately understood that the other party was not kind. And the one who attracted the other party was probably the magic bullet he released just now. It's very simple. Challenge the genius of Tianan province. Qin Zhanfang laughed strangely, and with a move with his right hand, he saw the golden long sword inserted under Lu Ning's feet tremble, flying back behind the former, and hovering coolly. One thing to say, this sword magic is really cool. Seeing this, Lu Ning said with some envy. Right. Qin Zhanfang raised his chin proudly, then he clapped his hands and said. I'm in a hurry, I'll give you a minute, and then we'll start fighting. Kai Si came up behind Lu Ning with small steps, and whispered, This is troublesome. If you are abused by the people of the Huang Empire, you will not be able to hold your head up when you go back. After all, the girl patted Lu Ning and said, I will add some buffs to you. It doesn't matter if you can't beat it, but you must never admit defeat. After Lu Ning heard this, he looked back at the girl in surprise. Is it because she was not the one who was beaten that she is so brave, or is it because Yan Empire has a relatively tough and aggressive ethos, both men and women? It turned out to be an auxiliary mage, so when you cast magic, it means that the battle has begun. Qin Jianfeng just acted frivolously, but it didn't mean that he was really stupid enough to give his opponent time to increase his combat power. At the same time, what's the situation? The genius of the Huang Empire who mastered sword magic. Qin Jianfeng, Huang Empire, Tier 4. It's broken. The kicker is here. It seems that the rumor is true. Recently, the vice president of the Imperial Academy of the Huang Empire came to Tian'an College for an exchange, and he did not expect to bring a few geniuses from his own country. That kid is also unlucky, but the rule is that you can't kill people, so you don't have to worry too much. Sword magic, this power in the same realm is not blown out. Senior Qianyan, please fix the monitoring screen and don't replace it randomly. Quote. In the unified examination hall, Qin Jianfeng's appearance aroused considerable reactions from the deputy examiners. And in one of the upper floors of the building where the unified examination hall is located, a white-haired old man lay leisurely on the armchair, and there were 5 surveillance images in front of him. The 5 surveillance screens correspond to 4 teenagers and 1 girl, all of whom are from the Imperial Academy of Magic and Magic. This white-haired old man is the vice president of the Magic Academy, Yin Tongchen, a 9th-level mage. There was another person in the room, Yun Jianming, vice president of Tian'an College. The 2 bosses looked at the surveillance screen in front of them and didn't say anything. Because the 2 of them currently have a consensus that is Qin Jianfeng's opponent, the boy named Lu Ning is obviously not qualified. In other words, in the eyes of the big boss Yin who kicked the hall, Lu Ning, who has not been known for a long time, doesn't even have the level of strength to make him talk trash or bet on the lottery. Look at Lu Ning again. With Qin Jianfeng speaking ahead, Kai Si was not in a hurry to buff Lu Ning. The girl blinked her eyes, counting the time, and felt that her teammates were coming soon, so she thought of delaying it. Then she said, "This is a freshman exchange between Tian'an College and your Huang Empire College. You are not the only one who took the unified exam." Qin Jianfeng stretched out a finger and shook it, and replied lazily, "That's right, I'm not the only one. But you were really unlucky, because I may be the strongest among us." Aha! Kai Si wanted to say something else. But Qin Jianfeng suddenly pointed at Lu Ning with his wagging finger, and the golden long sword suspended behind him immediately burst into bright golden light, and immediately shot towards Lu Ning like a meteor chasing the moon. "Sorry, don't blame me if you fail the unified examination and cannot enter Tian'an College." Before he could finish his words, the golden long sword had already arrived in front of Lu Ning. The speed between the 2 was no more than a dozen meters, and with the speed of the golden long sword, it was almost like teleportation. Kai Si's line of sight couldn't be captured accurately and effectively at all, let alone buff Lu Ning at this moment. She just stood there in a daze, feeling inconceivable about the instant attack power of sword magic. But the next second, click, Lu Ning, who hadn't moved, suddenly nodded his head, and there was a crisp sound of swords being exchanged from the corner of his mouth. Ah, this. When Kai Si and Qin Jianfeng saw the scene in front of them, they both froze. I saw the golden long sword that turned into a shooting star just now, and at this moment, Lu Ning's strong teeth were biting the blade, so there was no surprise just now. On the other side, in the room where the 2 masters of the 9th rank of the academy are located, the eyes of the 2 masters are slightly fixed at this moment. Isn't this kid purely majoring in lightning magic, or a body-refining mage? Misunderstood. This reaction ability is a bit exaggerated. I'm going. This is the first time I've seen someone use their body to strengthen the power of sword magic. He doesn't want his teeth anymore. It's interesting, it seems that a dark horse has popped up. On the side of the deputy examiner, watching the battle scene, all of them showed surprise expressions. They come to rate candidates every year, no matter if they are geniuses or mediocre, they have watched it countless times. As long as the candidates make a move, they can basically judge their level with near accuracy. But like Lu Ning, this is really the first time I have seen it. Click, boom. With a little force from Lu Ning, the bitten golden long sword jumped with a lightning arc, and immediately shattered into several pieces. When a man competes in martial arts, his ambition is thousands of miles away. I am also yearning for the competition between my peers. If you want to fight, you can fight. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Lu Ning put his left and right hands in his trouser pockets, and his eyes fell on Qin Jianfeng, who looked astonished. The corners of Qin Jianfeng's mouth twitched, and he said with a dry smile, "It seems, my luck is not very good." Clap. As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes were filled with clusters of lightning, and the young man in front of him seemed to turn into a running thunder, which was constantly enlarged in his eyes. Not good. So fast. Qin Jianfeng screamed in his heart, but the distance of more than 10 meters could be crossed in the blink of an eye in front of Lu Ning, who was using lightning and lightning. He didn't have time to react, he just subconsciously crossed his hands in defense. Defensive magic Iron Gate Shield. This magic genius from the Huang Empire wasn't really unbearable, and at the very moment when Lu Ning kicked away with a whip leg, he still cast defensive magic. Right in front of him, the magic light shone, and immediately a large iron gate appeared out of nowhere to block him behind. Boom, boom. However, this almost instantaneous defensive magic, the level can never be so high, and the defensive power is effective. Under Lu Ning's horizontal kick, it directly collapsed into countless pieces, and Lu Ning's right foot was covered with blue and white lightning. It kicked Qin Jianfeng's cross-defensive arms. Click. There was the crisp sound of bones breaking. Qin Jianfeng's eyes widened. Compared with the opponent's lightning magic, what shocked him more was the opponent's power. The surging force was like a torrent of a river breaking its embankment, instantly crushing him, giving him the feeling of being hit by a speeding heavy truck all over his body. Boom. Qin Jianfeng's body flew backwards and hit a huge tree heavily. He gritted his teeth in pain. A strong sense of frustration welled up in his heart. He didn't hold his breath, and immediately spewed sweet blood from his throat, then his head tilted and he passed out. Look at Lu Ning again. His gaze moved down to his right leg. The explosion just now caused the trousers on his right leg to burst off. This left him a little speechless. Without his trousers, his right hand in his trouser pocket has nothing to hide. It was very obvious that Lu Ning's right hand in his trouser pocket had already been clenched into a fist and was wrapped in lightning. This was obviously a posture of wanting to catch people by surprise, but it seemed unnecessary because of the opponent's strength. This. From Lu Ning's attack to Qin Jianfeng's coma, all this happened within a second. At this moment, the powerful figure that moved like thunder began to take shape in Kai Xi's eyes. At this moment, her brain temporarily lost the ability to think. A genius who came from the Huang Empire and mastered extremely powerful sword magic, appeared so fragile in front of a young man with no reputation. During the time between the wind and thunder, the boy crushed the opponent with an extremely powerful posture. It was only when she saw that Lu Ning had already started to take off Qin Jianfeng's pants and put them on by herself, that Kai Xi completely came to her senses. She raised her hand, not knowing what tone and attitude she should use to face this tough guy who suddenly appeared. Oh! There were exclamations in the unified examination hall one after another, and all the deputy examiners looked at the picture in front of them in shock. Just now, I didn't even see how this kid made a move. Very strong physical strength. This kid is a body refining mage. It's true that he is a body training mage, but according to the information, this kid named Lu Ning is indeed a major in body training magic in Los Angeles number 1 middle school, but his magic talent is not in body training, but in magic power expansion. No, it's not just about body training. There is no chanting in thunder magic. This is obviously the lowest level of magic proficiency in the thunder system, and it may even be no chanting. After all, he is directly releasing the power of the elements. Dark Horse. This year's Dark Horse has appeared. Quickly, call over the specific information of this kid. Good boy, let the geniuses of the Huang Empire suffer, ha ha ha. Quote. The deputy examiners were discussing with each other, and gradually smiles appeared on their faces. The relationship between the Yan Empire and the Huang Empire can't be said to be good or bad, but if the other party dares to come to kick the hall, they must beat them violently to relieve their anger. In the luxurious private room of the Unified Examination Building. Brother Yun, this kid is interesting. Yin Tongchen, the vice president of the Academy of Divine Weapons of the Huang Empire, was the first to break the silence and said something with a smile. Yun Jianming, vice president of Tian'an College, let out a laugh and replied. Whether this kid is serious or not, let's put it aside for the time being. Your Chin boy is talking nonsense. Knowing that the other party is a body-refining mage, the first time he didn't choose to distance himself but stood in a daze. Regardless of talent comprehension, this aspect of mind still needs to be tempered a lot. Hearing this, Yin Tongchen twitched the corners of his mouth imperceptibly, but the smile on his face remained unchanged. Brother Yun is still the same, speaking straightforwardly, you were right, this kid Chin really needs to temper his heart. Among the 5 screens in front of the 2 bosses, the other 4 screens began to show battle scenes one after another, and the attention of the 2 was diverted. However, in order to continue talking about Lu Ning, and for a while, the minds of the 2 of them were still stuck in the picture of Lu Ning's shot just now. Yin Tongchen's eyes pondered, that boy with lightning magic and body training gave me an indescribable feeling. Is it amazing, or special? Yun Jianming on the side picked up a tablet computer and began to browse the detailed information of Lu Ning. You are really kind, just leave it alone, why do you want to treat him? Back to Lu Ning. While casting healing magic on Qin Zhanfang, Kai Si asked Lu Ning puzzledly. Lu Ning replied, didn't he say that he is not the only one who came from the Huang Empire? After he wakes up, he will torture his other companions for specific information. So that's how it is. Kai Si's cute face suddenly came to light, hee, I can't tell, you're pretty smart. She then complained, but it's strange, shouldn't all those who major in body training be reckless? A moment later, the comatose Qin Zhanfang slowly opened his eyes. Quote. He looked at Lu Ning and Kai Si in front of him, and fell silent for a moment. Lu Ning simply took out a belt and said to him, take out the contents. The belt is also a magical storage item, but it needs the corresponding spells to open it. This was the main reason why Lu Ning asked Kai Si to treat him. There's nothing in there. Qin Zhanfang shrugged helplessly and complied. There are indeed very few things inside, just some low-level magic potions for recovery and treatment. I was careless. If I were 100 meters away from you, you would not be able to get close to me so easily. Besides the speed of my sword magic, the attack distance is the most difficult part. Qin Zhanfang watched Lu Ning stuff those magic potions into his arms, and he didn't stop talking. If that kick hit your mouth just now, you'd be fine and say nothing. Lu Ning's right leg might be broken. Seeing that he refused to admit defeat, Kai Si immediately scolded him contemptuously. Although this girl looks cute, she also has a tough personality inside. Lu Ning, your name is Lu Ning, okay, Qin Zhanfang, remember you. Qin Zhanfang doesn't care about the girls yin and yang, and only has Lu Ning in his eyes at the moment. However, Lu Ning didn't like him at all. He stood up slowly and looked to the right. When the 2 saw his movements, they couldn't help paying attention. It should be your friend who came, Lu Ning said to Kai Si. Kai Si was startled when she heard this. She got up and looked around, but she didn't find anyone at all. After waiting for a few minutes, the figures of 2 men and 1 woman gradually emerged. See, I'll go, why are you so far away from us? It's okay, hurry up and go to the central area to hunt the 4th order monsters. The 3 walked over quickly and started chatting with Kai Si. Hey, how did you find them? Qin Zhanfang's heart suddenly trembled. He suddenly realized that when he sneaked the other party for the first time, the other party probably had already discovered it. Naturally, Lu Ning would not reply. There was a new girl with long hair, and her perfume smelled very strong. With a keen sense of smell, it does have unexpected effects when it has time. Student Kai, then I'll go first. Lu Ning greeted Kai Si after he finished talking with his companions. Kai Si subconsciously wants to hug Lu Ning's thigh, which is the keen intuition of a qualified assistant. But thinking of the phrase, I won't form a team with you, I said before, I couldn't say the invitation, and even blushed a little bit. She hesitated for a long time, and saw Lu Ning looking straight at her. Kai Si suddenly understood. The agreed 200,000 yuan will be given to you after the unified examination is over. Lu Ning nodded in satisfaction and walked away. See, who is he? After Lu Ning left, Kai Si's companion Zhang Han asked the question. Before Kai Si could reply, Qin Zhanfang looked like he was being beaten, and said in a strange tone, oh, something is wrong, the cute girl is about to be snatched away. And who are you? Zhang Han's complexion suddenly changed, and he looked at Qin Zhanfang with some unkindness. Qin Zhanfang pursed his lips, jumped with his feet, and a golden flying sword condensed under his feet, and then left with the sword in a very chic manner. Sword magic. It turned out to be sword magic. His actions made Kai Xi's three companions all exclaim in surprise. Gurgling. As Lu Ning walked towards the central area, he swallowed the magic potion snatched from Qin Zhanfang. After drinking, Lu Ning felt it silently. Efficient. After a while, Lu Ning's eyes flashed suddenly. He clearly felt that after his powerful stomach digested the magic potion, the magic power stored in his body seemed to be compressed and purified. He cannot describe in words. But with such an extremely intuitive sense, the magic power in the body has indeed become purer and higher quality than before. Even if it is not the magic power of the thunder element, does it have a similar effect? Lu Ning figured it out, took another bottle of magic potion and drank it. He reacted. The Dragon Slayer magic is indeed not limited to a single element. The Dragon Slayer magic of fire can devour the opponent's thunder magic, so that it can use the two elements of thunder and fire in a short period of time, and cast the extremely powerful Thunder Flame Dragon Roar moves. In this world of extraordinary magic power, it's really cool to start the dragon slaying magic. Realizing this, Lu Ning laughed softly. Chapter 11. Examination Hall. There is a monitoring screen, in which the protagonist has been fixed on the same young man. Just judging from the data, this dark horse genius named Lu Ning has been very mediocre during his school days. Well, maybe it's for today's blockbuster. That's right, the stage of the college unified examination is the time to show yourself. He has gone to the central area. Not to mention tier 4 monsters, even if he meets other tier 4 geniuses, he will be very interesting. Quote. Because of Qin Zhanfang's intrusion, Lu Ning, who defeated him, is now very much concerned by the deputy examiners. In the picture, Lu Ning quickened his pace and ran towards the central area. You can't judge the level of a monster just by smell, but I just don't pick it. The running Lu Ning suddenly changed direction. And a few minutes later, a magical beast appeared right in front of him. Tier 3 Warcraft Flying Flame Leopard. This monster is 3 meters tall, and the hair on its body is the color of flames, which looks very cool. The flying flame leopard also sensed Lu Ning's approach. However, when his fiery red beast eyes turned to Lu Ning, what he saw was a fist wrapped in lightning. Boom, boom. The flying flame leopard's head exploded into a mass of red and white debris in an instant, and blood gushed out from the neck that lost its head. The ability move of lightning and stone fire is too easy to use. As long as it is within a distance of 30 meters, Lu Ning's current eruption is almost instantaneous, and even a monster with a strong crisis instinct has no reaction time. My current pure strength is at least 20,000 to 30,000 kilograms. Combined with Thunder Dragon's bending fist, I am afraid that even a 4th-order demonic beast can't stop my seemingly simple punch. Lu Ning wiped the blood on his right hand, evaluating himself in his heart. Then he glanced at the corpse on the ground, and his eyes were a little dazed for a while. Before killing the shadow werewolf, because it was a long-distance point kill, the intuitive feeling was not very strong. But now, he instantly killed the flying flame leopard in an extremely brutal way, both visually and emotionally. The agitation caused by killing was beating in Lu Ning's heart. It wasn't until half a quarter of an hour later that he gradually calmed down. He will continue. One is to rank as high as possible and get rewards. The second is that the monsters hunted and killed in the examination room will be given to the candidate for their own value. The more they hunt, the more wealth they will naturally get. One of Lu Ning's current goals is to obtain wealth and then purchase lightning magic materials and potions. Lu Ning was about to turn around and leave. But at this moment, whoosh, behind Lu Ning suddenly came the dense sound of piercing through the air, and he turned his head suddenly, only to see countless ice arrows emitting icy air turning into a white torrent and shooting towards him. 4th-order monster, and covered up its own breath and smell with ice magic power. In an instant, Lu Ning's brain was spinning rapidly, and his whole body was suddenly filled with thunder and lightning, and his whole body was covered with thunder. His sassy short hair also became straight at this moment, and his steadfast eyes flickered with electric arcs from time to time. Thunder escape body. The opponent attacked people first, and the attack range was wide and dense. They could no longer use the flashing speed to evade, so they could only resist. While using the lightning shield, Lu Ning also used lightning fire to increase his speed, and he was not afraid of the dense ice arrows heading towards the sneak-attacking monster. Bang 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 bang. Hundreds of ice arrows hit Lu Ning's lightning armor one by one after another ice explosion sounded, and then exploded into a large ice fog, which looked extremely cool. But such magical power can't affect Lu Ning at all. To be honest, if Lu Ning closed his eyes, he wouldn't even know that he had been hit. This just shows the power of the defensive skill of Thunder Escape Body. Of course, this trick consumes too much magic power. I saw you. Lu Ning almost rushed forward at a speed of 30 meters in one step, and soon discovered the magical beast that was attacking him. It was a monster with a strange appearance. The body size is only about 2 meters, and it looks like an ape, with scales like ice crystals all over its body, and a pair of animal eyes are as cold and ruthless as ice and snow. The wisdom of this warcraft is not low. Seeing Lu Ning approaching him at a high speed, he didn't even say a little panic, and there was a bit of human sarcasm in the cold animal eyes. Lu Ning was startled suddenly. The monster in front opened its mouth and screamed violently, followed by a burst of freezing air covering Lu Ning in an instant. At the same time, the Unified Examination Hall, which is always paying attention to Lu Ning's movements, also seems a little tense at this time. Tisk. It turned out to be an ice beast, which is one of the most difficult monsters to deal with in the Unified Examination. 4th level magic, frozen ice. Lu Ning is too reckless. This 4th order monster, the ice beast, is not low in intelligence. On the premise of sneak attacking first, he must have done some ambushes. But having said that, isn't Lu Ning's defense a little too exaggerated? Defensive magic of the thunder system. I don't understand it. It's just a simple elemental shield formed by releasing the power of the thunder element. But if this is the case, the consumption of magic power will be too sharp. Look at Lu Ning again. He is not immune to the opponent's ice magic. Under the influence of the freezing air, Lu Ning's movements began to slow down, and some frozen ice crystals began to appear on the lightning armor covering his whole body. His whole body seemed to be frozen. Hey, single quote. Seeing this, the ice and snow beast screamed triumphantly. Its attack was pulled away again, only to see the brilliance of a white magic circle suddenly flashing in front of the ice and snow beast, and from the magic circle, it directly extended into an ice and snow spear. The ice and snow beast picked up the ice and snow spear and threw it at Lu Ning. Not good. Lu Ning cried out in his heart. He seemed to have underestimated Warcraft a little bit before. But this set of combos of the frozen beast had been calculated long ago, and Lu Ning was not given time to react at all. The powerful long snow and ice hair turned into a white streamer, hitting Lu Ning's heart like a red heart. Lu Ning looked at the ice and snow spear that failed to penetrate his armor, and the expression on his face froze for a moment. The defense of the thunder shield is far beyond his imagination. He only knew that this move could prevent Tail Beast Jade, but he didn't really use it in actual combat. But now, the defense is too exaggerated. Hey, single quote. There was a hint of doubt in the ice-cold eyes of the ice snow beast, a doubt it couldn't understand. Boom. Lu Ning seized its short period of stagnant thinking, and smashed its head into pieces with a brontosaurus fist. At this very moment, the entire examination hall was extremely quiet. It's beyond the standard. This kid's strength is absolutely beyond the standard. What kind of defense is this? With this kind of defense method, he will be invincible in the face of the 4th order level, whether it is a monster or a mage. Thunder magic can still be used like this. Quote. After a while, the exclamations of many deputy examiners sounded almost simultaneously. The assistant examiners are all experienced. Even if Lu Ning instantly made Qin Jianfeng lose his ability to fight, from their point of view, most of the reason was because Qin Jianfeng underestimated the enemy and let Lu Ning get close. As for Lu Ning's strength performance, there is no need to be surprised. You must know that humans in this world have magic talent, and the magic talent of a body-refining mage is nothing more than normal in terms of strength. But now, whether it's high-strength physical strength, almost instantaneous lightning magic, or exaggerated means of defense, Lu Ning's performance is extremely amazing. It is a genius to have a performance that is too ordinary in a single aspect. But this is the case in many aspects, so it can not only be measured by the word, genius. Lu Ning may have more than one magical talent. Some deputy examiners made such a guess. Most of the other assistant examiners had similar guesses and comments. Lu Ning's performance caused a lot of repercussions in the unified examination hall. But now he himself is a little depressed. The total amount of mana is still not enough. Using dragon-slaying magic alone or thunder escape body, lightning and stone fire and other ability moves can completely cover the consumption of magic power. Once multiple abilities are used at the same time, it felt as if the body had been inserted into a tube, and the other side was pumping water with a high-pressure pump, and the total amount of magical power of over 10,000 was somewhat insufficient. The column of the total magic power on Lu Ning's personal panel shows the real-time magic power value in the body. In his heyday, that naturally represented the upper limit of the current total mana. Today, it shows 5,500. That is to say, with all the abilities and moves being used at the same time, the rapid mana consumption made it impossible for him to last even a minute. Have something to give. Simultaneous use of multi-ability moves brings super high explosive power and combat power, and it is reasonable to consume magic power after the script. Thanks to the enhancement of physique, the speed of mana recovery is not bad. It seems that we will always have some lightning magic materials and magic potions in the future. Aware of her own shortcomings, Lu Ning naturally found a way to make up for it. It is worth mentioning that the non-ability move rewards obtained by daily sign-in can be temporarily stored in the personal space in the personal panel, which is much more convenient. For example, Tianlizi is not used to bomb people, but to be used as a power bank for itself. Another example is that the lightning attack direction of the Thunderbolt talisman is not aimed at the enemy, but at his own stomach. Continue. After resting for an hour, Lu Ning left the current position. At the same time, the unified examination building is underground. In an extremely empty room, full of translucent illusory eyes without eyelashes. In the middle of the room, lay a young man with a lazy expression. This boy is not human, he has 4 eyes, even though his other facial features are handsome, his eyesight is extremely penetrating. Thousand-eyed cutie, here I am, meow. The door of the room was pushed open at this moment, and a tall woman walked in. The woman was wearing a loose military uniform with a white tiger pattern embroidered on it, her white and tender feet were bare, and there were white anklets on each ankle. Like the 4-eyed boy, this woman is not human. She has extremely exquisite facial features, as beautiful as a fairy, her light red pupils are like blood gems, and there is a white tiger's ear on each side of her silky white long hair. Seeing the young man looking over, Bai Shui immediately bared his teeth, showing his cute but sharp little canine teeth. Is there anyone I can fall in love with this year, meow? These two are both monsters, and both are at the 8th level. The difference is that they are magical beasts with special bloodlines, special talents and the ability to take human form. The boy's body is a thousand-eyed monster, and the special magic, the Eye of Sky surveillance, came from him. And the other woman with tiger ears was even more exaggerated. It is said that she has the blood of the so-called holy beast White Tiger. Both Qianyan and Bai Shui have joined Tianan Magic Academy, and their status is not low. Bai Shui doesn't like her name, and often asks others to call her Miss Bai or Senior Bai. The two monsters are not in harmony, but Qianyan has a gentle personality, even a little timid, so he hates Bai Shui. Because this white tiger is extremely bloodthirsty, it is an out-and-out killer. But she insisted on adding a suffix, meow, when she said that it would make people feel cute. When she kills those who think she is cute, the expression changes of the killed people will make her feel very interesting. Qianyan still remembers that when he asked her why she wanted to meow, the other party's answer with a sweet smile made him chill for several days. Didn't you fancy one last year? Seeing Bai Shui looking at him with a smile on his face, Qianyan shrank his neck a little. Oh that, I disappeared in the ruins continent this year, and I'm guessing he's already dead meow. Bai Shui waved his hand indifferently, and continued to ask. Is there any? The college's unified examination has been going on for a long time, and those who know lightning magic should be marked by you. You can't ignore my words, can you? Quote. Almost forgot, meow. Qianyan didn't answer. just scolded her silently, and then unfolded several light curtain pictures in front of her eyes. In the light curtain screen, it was just a few pictures of Lu Ning's shot. Circled operator. Oh, circled operator. Bai Shui watched seriously. His appearance looked a little naive and cute. After reading it once, she just wanted to say something, but suddenly frowned, and turned to read it again. After half a sound, very special. This time, she didn't add that pretentiously cute suffix tone, and her eyes suddenly became extremely sharp. It's very special. In my opinion, his physical strength is not the strongest candidate I have ever seen, but in terms of thunder magic, he should have no proficiency in singing. Thousand Eyes seems to be very interested in Lu Ning. Interested, seriously. No singing. At this age, Bai Shui opened his mouth, feeling a little unbelievable. Although the mastery and no chanting in magic proficiency do not require active chanting, the latter can cast magic with a single thought, and it is instant magic in the true sense. In fact, if you have to say it, the instant time that no singing is more than proficient will not affect the mage's combat power too much. But the key point is that magic without singing level proficiency cannot be forcibly interrupted. This is the most fatal gap between the two. No matter how powerful magic is interrupted and cannot be cast, it is tantamount to nothing. No, I don't think his special place is in the proficiency of lightning magic. Qianyan was puzzled and asked, "What is it?" In addition to the proficiency of thunder magic, I have seen many people with similar physical strength as this kid. Is it the defensive type of thunder magic? Although it looks novel, elemental magic has both attack and defense. Quote, "What kid? This is my darling." Bai Shui glared at Qianyan, but did not say clearly. Then she hummed a ditty and left the room with happy feet. Sign in. Ding. Congratulations to the host for getting self-improvement from the sign-in gift package, Physical Fitness Plus 3.0. 24 hours passed, and Lu Ning checked in again. The sign-in result this time surprised him. It turned out to be a physical improvement. The benefits of improving your fitness are manifold. The total amount of magic power, strength, physical strength, and even the speed of magic power recovery will be improved due to the improvement of physique. Increase 30 points of physical fitness at once. There was some smile on Lu Ning's face, and he signed the golden finger, and he will always be a god. The first day of the exam is over. The number of monsters Lu Ning hunted and killed is not exaggerated, and there are only 12 of them in all levels. And now, he is already completely in the central area. The strength of the college unified examination is nothing to Lu Ning's current strength. But it seems a bit cruel to other candidates. During the journey into the central area, Lu Ning had already seen several mutilated corpses of examinees eaten by monsters. Several hours later, a Tier 3 monster fell at Lu Ning's feet. But this monster was not killed by him, but by an acquaintance. Lu Ning looked at the ponytail girl in front of him, his eyes moved a little. Student Lu Ning. Yang Yan looked at Lu Ning, then smiled and said, "You will come to the central area as expected." When Lu Ning heard this, he smiled and replied, "There are 10 areas in the examination room. I didn't expect to meet Yang in the same area." Yang Yan nodded and said, "If there is a will, it must be that my strong desire to compete with Lu Ning has been answered." Ah, Lu Ning was caught off guard by the other party's words. It can be seen that this pretty girl has a serious face, and Lu Ning seems to understand something. Really, this proud daughter, who is regarded as the lover of dreams by the boys of No. 1 middle school in Los Angeles, is actually a fighting madman. If you want to learn from each other, let's wait until the end of the unified examination. But Lu Ning was not very interested. Now he just wants to hunt and kill monsters as much as possible, make money and strive for a top ranking after the unified examination. No, it's now. Yang Yan shook her head. She is indeed a fighter, and Lu Ning's record of blasting the force measuring instrument with one punch made her very interested. She didn't intend to deliberately come to find someone to discuss. But if you encounter it in the examination room of the unified examination, you may have to learn two hands. Okay. You dare to cast magic, take a break, I'll give you 15 minutes. When Lu Ning saw the firm eyes of the other party, he knew that he was a fool who would not listen to persuasion. Although Qin Zhanfang, a young genius, was easily eliminated before, but this does not mean that Lu Ning will despise all his peers because of this. Lu Ning has always longed for the competition among peers. This Yang Yan is good at fire magic, can I try? Looking at Yang Yan's excited and expectant face, a bold idea suddenly rose in Lu Ning's heart. That is to swallow the opponent's flame magic power, to see if he can force himself into the thunder flame dragon mode. It's just that the surveillance eyes in the sky seem to be a bit of an eyesore. It is true that Lu Ning wants to express himself on the stage of the college unified examination, but it does not mean that he is really heartless and will not hide anything. It should be extremely special in this world to directly eat the opponent's magic raw. Thinking about it, time passed by little by little. I'm ready, Yang Yan's voice sounded. As soon as she finished speaking, a cluster of lightning exploded from Lu Ning's body, and his whole body flashed in front of Yang Yan with lightning speed, and his right hand suddenly clenched into a fist against Yang Yan's abdomen and then punched away. So fast. A flash of amazement flashed in Yang Yan's eyes, but it turned out to be excitement instead. Boom. There is a real sense of being hit, but it is a bit inconsistent. Lu Ning looked up and found that the figure of Yang Yan in front of her was gone, replaced by her robe hanging on her right fist. Substitution magic. This chick, Yang Yan, is better than Lu Ning imagined. Knowing that Lu Ning is a body refining mage, she prepared this substitute magic in advance to prevent the eruption of the body refining mage within a short distance. Tier 2 magic ring of fireworks. Yang Yan's voice sounded from the side. With a bang, a ring of flames rose around Lu Ning, wrapping him in it, blocking sight and perception. The magic that was supposed to be an attack type was actually used by the opponent as a cover-up. This shows that Yang Yan's actual combat experience is rich, and there is absolutely no shortage of similar combat experience. In Lu Ning's heart, if he could crush the opponent with absolutely overwhelming strength, he would wish to abuse food like this. But the fact is that diverse fighting styles are indispensable. Thunder Dragon's collapsing fist. Lu Ning's mind turned very fast, and the thunder and lightning wrapped his right fist and bombarded towards the side. Boom. The ring of flames that covered sight and perception was immediately blasted out of a vacuum. However, as soon as he got away, 3 huge fireballs flew towards him and exploded 3 meters away from him. Lu Ning couldn't help laughing, but turned sullen. This Yang Yan actually kept her hand. Inexplicably, a strong anger suddenly surged up in my heart. Wrong. It is a kind of spiritual magic. Disturb your emotions and thoughts, so that you cannot concentrate. In actual combat, spiritual magic is extremely effective. This magic can interrupt the opponent's magic chanting, and it can be ignored only if there is no proficiency in chanting. No wonder Yang Yan kept her hand. It was because Lu Ning couldn't deal with the explosion of the 3 fireballs in time. Clap. However, the ability moves that Lu Ning obtained from the daily check in her proficiency without singing level. In an instant, Lu Ning was covered with lightning armor. The explosive power of the flame giant ball can't affect him at all. On the contrary, the power raised by the explosion concealed his figure for a while. Student Lu. Yang Yan's voice sounded. As soon as she spoke, Lu Ning immediately searched for the sound and took a step forward. His whole body flashed like lightning, and he came to Yang Yan in an instant. He grabbed Yang Yan's shoulders with both hands, and under the extremely astonished gaze of the other party, he used the simplest method of discharge by Thunder Dragon Slayer, trying to make the other party lose the ability to fight without threatening his life. However, flopped. As soon as Lu Ning grabbed Yang Yan's shoulder, she saw Yang Yan suddenly turned into a ball of flames, covering her whole body in an instant. Hiss. Lu Ning couldn't help taking a breath. Is the phantom of the flame. He didn't know if the other party's mental influence was still there. But Yang Yan's gaudy fighting style really made him feel angry. Yang Yan's magic talent is Flame Master, which is an extremely advanced magic talent. This talent allows Yang Yan to sail smoothly in fire magic, and can master fire magic moves in a relatively short period of time. And besides that, this talent has greatly improved her own affinity for the fire element. The magic power of the fire element used is also much more refined than that of ordinary people, which makes her fire magic more powerful than others of the same level. Of course, these are not enough to make Lu Ning care. After all, he is a talent, he is a hacker, there is no comparison at all. But the opponent is really good at it and has a lot of experience in battle. The flame phantom turned into flames and enveloped Lu Ning, and actually restrained Lu Ning instead. This shows that after seeing Lu Ning's defense, Yang Yan reacted in a very short time and temporarily changed the flame phantom, which was supposed to be used to confuse plus attack, into a binding effect. Yang Yan's combat intelligence is very high. But not enough. In the extraordinary world, even if the mind is like a monster, it is not as good as others who can break through all laws with one force. Strength is the only indicator of the true benchmark of powerfulness in the extraordinary world. The jaw of the thunder dragon. Lu Ning's arms shook violently, and the thunder arc slammed, breaking free from the flames in an instant, and then he paired his fists and slammed down towards the ground. Boom! Clap! The moment he hit the ground with both fists, a large piece of lightning spread along the ground towards the surroundings. Wall of flame. In an instant, Yang Yan's surprised voice sounded. To the right of Lu Ning, a wall of flames rumbled up, blocking the spread of Lu Ning's lightning. But only for a moment. The flame wall was quickly broken by the force, revealing Yang Yan who was hiding behind. At this moment, Yang Yan's pretty face showed a hint of surprise. She originally thought that Lu Ning was strong as a body refining mage, so she must never let him get close to her. But now it seems that the other party is obviously more accomplished in thunder magic. But, combining the explosion of lightning magic with his own power. Why can he do it so proficiently? Shouldn't this be a difficult thing? Yang Yan was puzzled, but this girl had a combative personality, and now her fighting spirit was even more passionate. It seems that the warm-up session is over. Lu Ning looked up at Yang Yan, not rushing to get angry. This is a harmless exchange of ideas, and Lu Ning feels that he will benefit from seeing more of the genius's fighting style. As the number of check-ins increases, he will definitely have more and more lightning-type skills in the future, and how to use them in combination will also be a matter of skill. Hey, is that Yang Yan from Los Angeles? It's Yang Yan. I don't know who she is fighting against. It's interesting, I heard that Yang Yan. The area of the central area is not that wide, but the movement here caused some candidates nearby. They approached curiously, although they did not show up, they observed in secret. At the same time, in the unified examination hall, the eyes of the deputy examiners were also attracted by the battle between Yang Yan and Lu Ning. The hall seemed a little quiet, and everyone was watching intently. Flash. Flame jump. At this moment, Lu Ning and Yang Yan acted almost simultaneously. Lu Ning seemed to be transformed into a thunderbolt, and the explosion speed was so exaggerated that it cannot be described. Under such a high-speed explosion, Lu Ning can stick to Yang Yan in the blink of an eye. But Yang Yan was already prepared. With a wave of her right hand, a flame galloped out, and she herself jumped to another position following the flame. Quote exclamation mark quote. Lu Ning was greatly surprised, but his eyes were also full of interest. The magic in this world is simply too diverse, it's not the kind in my inherent impression at all. The one who roams the sky is the bird of divine flame that controls the flames. It descends from the sky and turns everything into ashes. When Yang Yan distanced herself from Lu Ning, she quickly chanted a magic spell. With her attainments in fire magic, she still needs to sing it out, which is definitely an extremely powerful one. Ancient magic, the art of fire spirit. Suddenly, rings of flames emerged from Yang Yan's body, and those rings rushed up to the sky in an instant, and the flames all over the sky turned into a red curtain covering a dome. Hey! Passionate screams resounded randomly. Lu Ning looked up, and saw that the flames covering the sky quickly condensed into a huge phoenix bird that was more than 10 meters high. It looks lifelike, surrounded by flames, as if a mythical beast has really come into the world. When the unified examination hall saw this scene, there was an uproar. Ancient magic. It's true. The rumors are true. Yang Yan really got ancient magic and mastered it. Good guy. I'm afraid the power of this fire spirit technique is already close to that of the fifth order magic. That kid Lu Ning is a bit super powerful, and so is Yang Yan. Quote. Look at Lu Ning again. He looked at the fire phoenix with novelty in his eyes. Turning his gaze to Yang Yan again, he found that the girl was sweating profusely at the moment, apparently exhausted from the show. Hey! Huo Ling screamed, and the flames all over his body were boiling, and the temperature around him was also rising extremely. It flew high in the sky, but the vegetation on the ground had already been burned. Be careful, I can't accurately control this trick yet. Yang Yan reminded. Huo Ling immediately swooped down from the sky and rushed towards Lu Ning. Suck. Lu Ning took a sharp breath, raised his head, and immediately raised his chest. His posture looked a little weird. The thunder dragon's roar. At the same time that the fire spirit came flying, Lu Ning opened his mouth and sprayed fiercely, and a blue-white light beam immediately turned into a torrent of thunder and lightning, killing the fire spirit instantly with a straight trajectory almost like light. Just a face-to-face. The extremely powerful fire spirit turned into sparks and scattered in the sky and the earth. However, Lu Ning's lightning mouth cannon continued to rush straight into the sky with unabated momentum, causing the dark sky to suddenly burst into an aurora-like color. Yang Yan looked at Huo Ling, who was instantly smashed to death, and her head became blank at this moment. The originally nimble eyes also looked very dull at this moment. Quote. She opened her mouth slightly, her body movements froze, and she couldn't say a word for a long time. She subconsciously thought that she was delusional. The ancient magic, the fire spirit technique, is even more powerful than ordinary 5th-level magic. When Yang Yan looked at Lu Ning again, the latter was wiping the electric arc at the corner of his mouth, and looked at her calmly. Monster. Yang Yan is aggressive, so she has a strong attachment to winning or losing. The mixed feelings at the moment are not because she is not as good as the opponent. It's that she can't see how big the gap is between herself and the other party. She bit her lip lightly, looked at Lu Ning with a stubborn expression, and said, "You have been playing against me from the beginning. It was already my strongest move just now," Lu Ning said with a smile. Really? Yang Yan didn't quite believe it. After all, Lu Ning still seemed to have a lot of energy left, and the magic power in her body was already in a deficit. Lu Ning hummed, "Really, I lied to you to be struck by lightning." Sincerity does not necessarily impress girls. But being struck by lightning, Lu Ning's strength will definitely improve. Seeing Lu Ning's swearing appearance, Yang Yan didn't worry too much about it. She paused and said, "Lu Ning, you are amazing, but I wonder why you didn't take the initiative to show it during school." Lu Ning blinked, and said a few words. "It's just to make a big splash in the college entrance examination. The obvious contrast will bring inflated evaluations. Entering Tianan College is the real beginning of my magic career. I plan to show myself until then." Yang Yan tilted her head, as if a question mark appeared on her face. "I still don't understand." "You will understand later." Lu Ning quickly waved his hand to stop the topic. Seeing that Yang Yan seemed to have something to say, Lu Ning simply turned around and left. "If you talk too much, you will lose it." He has a good impression of Yang Yan, but it's not to the point of confiding in him. As for teasing girls, he didn't have this thought for the time being. It has not been half a month since he traveled to this world, and Lu Ning can't be said to have integrated into this world. Even now, every time before he falls asleep, he thinks of bits and pieces of the other world, and misses his parents, relatives and friends. When Lu Ning left, some young geniuses watching the battle came out one after another. Yang Yan's family background is not low. He can be regarded as a circle of children of the rich and powerful in Tianan province. Yang Yan, who is this person? It's a bit aggressive. I'll go, show me stupefied, mouth gun lightning beam. Cool. I said Yang Yan, you hit it deep enough. When I asked you before, you said that you didn't master your ancient magic. Yang Yan looked back and saw some familiar faces. She started talking with the young masters and ladies in these powerful circles, but she was obviously absent-minded when speaking. The first day of the college unified examination was very fresh. But the next 2 days seemed a bit boring. Lu Ning was simply looking for monsters to hunt. And the number of monsters in the examination room area is absolutely impossible to control. Sometimes it takes several hours to find one by luck. It is now approaching the end of the college entrance examination. Candidates have already gone to the magic teleportation circle in the examination room area one after another, preparing to return to the city. Lu Ning also encountered other candidates again during the period, but nothing happened. Yesterday's daily check-in was total magic power plus 2000. The amount of sign-in rewards for the total amount of magic power seems to be increased according to Lu Ning's own strength, which is a good thing. About there, with 1 hour left before the end of the unified examination, Lu Ning headed towards the magic teleportation circle. When you get here, there is already a queue here. The person in charge of the college also showed up in the examination room for the first time, maintaining the queue order and sending the candidates out of the examination room in a stable and orderly manner. Lu Ning lined up quietly. When it was his turn, a person in charge of the academy in charge of the teleportation array immediately greeted him. Lu Ning from Los Angeles number 1 middle school, right? It's me. Lu Ning nodded, as if realizing something. You can teleport directly into Tianan Academy of Magic, and you don't need to go back to Los Angeles. Why is that? Lu Ning asked suspiciously. Because your performance is very good, that's all. The person in charge didn't reveal much. Lu Ning thought for a while after hearing this, and then readily agreed. So, he sat on the teleportation array alone, and teleported directly to Tianan Academy of Magic in one step. Wait until the transfer is complete. A middle-aged man with a warm smile appeared in front of Lu Ning. Student Lu Ning, I am Wang Shou from the Freshman Management Office of the college who is in charge of reporting freshmen. You can call me Wang Shou. While speaking, the manager Wang bowed slightly. Hello, Manager Wang, what shall I do next? Lu Ning asked with a smile. He only learned about Tianan Academy of Magic through the internet, so if a commentator introduced it to him, it would be perfect. You don't need to do anything. Although the results have not been announced yet, I have received instructions that you will be enrolled as a key student of Tianan Academy of Magic. Key students. Yes, I will explain this to you later. Before that, please follow me to your residence in the academy. Then trouble the king to manage you. Lu Ning was not in a hurry, and thanked him politely. Walking out of the teleportation hall in the college, there is a willow-shaded avenue outside, and the green colors give people a very peaceful feeling. With a sudden glance, Lu Ning suddenly found a fairy-like girl with animal ears sitting on a willow tree. She had all the elements of white hair and red eyes. She was shaking her white and tender feet, looking down at herself. What the hell? Lu Ning subconsciously thought that he was wrong, so he rubbed his eyes, but when he looked again, Bai Shui had disappeared. Student Lu Ning, this way. Management Wang didn't notice Bai Shui at all, and led the way for Lu Ning with a very enthusiastic working attitude. A moment later, Lu Ning came to the student living area of Tianan College, but his residence was actually a single-family villa. It seems that the key students of the academy are paid very well. Thinking of this, Lu Ning happily walked into the villa. In the villa, Lu Ning asked Manager Wang to introduce Tianan Academy of Magic to himself. Manager Wang explained patiently, and his explanations were also very detailed and thoughtful. Hours passed without paying attention during the conversation. Sign in. Lu Ning will sign for today's check-in rewards. Ding, congratulations on getting the ability move from the daily check-in, full set of Sikong Gen. God, Sikong Shock full set. After seeing the sign-in results, Lu Ning just felt that there was something wrong with him. But soon, he didn't care about this detail. Because, the whole set is really delicious. The game character Sikong Gen in Glory of Kings, from passive to skills to ultimate moves, was directly packaged and brought over. The most obvious improvement is the passive power of thunder. The power of thunder this day can make Lu Ning take a lightning strike, even if it is just a punch of pure strength. If it hits the opponent will also be struck by lightning, because this is the most rogue, passive skill, among the skills. Converted to this world, it is equivalent to one more talent. And the power of thunder is not only here. The power of sky thunder is also a special kind of lightning power, which directly raised the level of magic power in Lu Ning's body, allowing him to directly step into the realm of a fourth-order mage. In addition, the total amount of magic power has also been increased by 10,000 caps at one time because of the acquisition of this full set of skills. Student Lu Ning. The voice of Management Wang sounded. He looked at this talented freshman a little strangely. Why did he become so excited when he just talked about the relationship between male and female students in the school? Ben Lei Ji. There is an extremely empty and spacious room in the basement of the student villa. This room is made of special magic materials, and it is specially used for key students to test their own magic. In the center of the room, there is a steel stake used to test the power of magic. Lu Ning is currently trying out the power and effects of Sikong Gen's full set of skills. The first is Ben Lei Ji. This move is also similar to an explosive move, which can instantly cross a distance and get close to the front of the opponent. What excites Lu Ning is that it can superimpose the effect with the explosive speed of the flash. What's even more surprising is that every time he casts Thunderbolt, he will give himself a lightning shield, and his defense will not fall when he attacks. In the same way, the lightning shield can also be superimposed with the lightning shield to enhance defense. And even if the lightning shield of Benleiji is broken, if he casts Benleiji again, the lightning shield will appear again. Compared with the skill of Benleiji, the second skill, Frenzied Lightning Strike, seems a bit mediocre. This skill is to use the power of thunder to condense a thunderball for medium and long distance attacks. The thunderball has a range of explosion damage. Finally, there is the big move, Thunderbolt. This is a transformation skill, and it can also be understood as a status skill. In the state of thunder, Lu Ning's all-round abilities will be enhanced, including the total amount of magic power, the power of thunder, physical strength, speed and so on. But after the ultimate move is over, it will fall into a weak vacuum period for a period of time. However, this is not fatal. The sequelae of this big move can be completely eliminated by devouring the power of the thunder element through dragon-slaying magic. After becoming the King of Thunder, Lu Ning can use Ping A as a long-range attack. Each attack can release a lightning chain. The more enemies there are, the lightning chain can bounce back and forth between enemies to cause several strikes. In addition, he will also condense 5 thunder drums behind him, and the thunder drums can automatically carry out a range of lightning strikes. It is worth mentioning that the effect is definitely different from the skill setting of the game. At least in the real world, you can't walk in the void regardless of the terrain in the state of the ultimate move. Another whole card. But no matter how you say it, Sikong Gen's full set of skills is so delicious that Lu Ning is still drooling. When Lu Ning tested the power and effect of Sikong's earthquake skills, the results of this year's unified examination of Tianan Academy of Magic came out. With Qianyan's Sky Surveillance Eye, coupled with Qianyan's strong mental power, it is not difficult to select the top 3,000 in a short time. When the result comes out, it was also the first time that Lu Ning's name appeared in the public's perspective, and he truly stood on the stage of this world. First, Los Angeles No. 1 Middle School, Lu Ning, total score, 116. 20 points for combat power, 20 points for total magic power, 20 points for magic level, 18 points for adaptability, 18 points for physical strength, and 20 points for realm level. It's not a full score, because in the previous unified examinations, the performance of the person with the highest physical strength surpassed Lu Ning, so he only scored 18 points. In fact, strictly speaking, Lu Ning should have a score of 111, because his realm level was the third level before, which is a fixed score, 5 points for the first level, and 15 points for the third level. It's just that his performance was too exaggerated, which made the Academy subconsciously think that he had lied about his real level in his personal information. Although the fourth level is the threshold for stepping into the middle level mage, the difference in magic power level between the third level mage and the third level mage is not too big. From the 2nd to the 10th, they all have 116 points, but their performance is not as good as Lu Ning, that is, the hidden points are not as high as him. What Lu Ning didn't know was that, after him, the next college unified examination, especially in the scoring of combat effectiveness, will use his performance standard as the full score standard. This means that for Lu Ning's combat performance in this year's unified examination, 20 points is the upper limit set by the score, not his upper limit, and his performance is completely beyond the standard. Looking at the top 20 list on the mobile phone, Lu Ning seemed very ordinary. Rankings are all fake. He now urgently needs to exchange rewards and his gains in the unified examination, and then buy lightning-type materials to improve himself. But the most basic reserve still needs to be pretended. So Lu Ning could only wait. The next day, after a night of fermenting, the Tianan Academy of Magic's unified examination for this year has come to an end, but the ranking list announced has aroused considerable repercussions in Tianan Province and even the entire Yan Empire area. Especially in the cities and regions of Tianan Province. Los Angeles No. 1 Middle School. Lu Ning from the second class took the first place in the unified examination. I'm Sunny Jing. Lu Ning is my classmate, and his usual performance is not as good as mine. Lu Ning. There really is him. If you don't usually pretend, you just pretend to be a tough guy in the unified examination. What about Lu Ning? He is completely famous now. Quote. The students of Los Angeles number 1 middle school were shocked. Little transparent in the usual class has suddenly become a hot genius. This feeling is really beyond words. Sky South City. Have you heard that this year, Tian'an College's first freshman is a boy born out of nowhere? What do those rich and powerful geniuses in Tian'an City number 1 middle school do? I heard that the boy's family is poor, and he still has to rely on his parents' guild pension to go to the magic middle school, more powerful. It's exciting. Our dark horse genius who came from a commoner is not only a blockbuster, but also won the first place. In various places, some mages can be seen everywhere talking about the sudden emergence of civilian genius named Lu Ning. In Tian'an restaurant, you can only enter if you are rich or expensive in Tian'an City. It's true, Yang Yan did master the ancient magic, the fire spirit technique, but Lu Ning just opened his mouth and breathed out lightning, instantly killing Yang Yan's fire spirit. I was just watching from the sidelines. Lu Ning's performance was too relaxed. If it wasn't for the Academy's endorsement, I would even think he had already reached the 5th level. It can only be said that Yang Yan is not proficient in ancient magic. Believe it or not, before Lu Ning met Yang Yan, he also met Qin Zhanfang, a genius of the Huang Empire. That guy is a genius of sword magic. I heard that Lu Ning gave him a second in the pretend position with his hands in his pockets. Quote. A group of young talents from Tian'an City gathered together. Among them was Kai Si, a young rich woman. Kai Si rested her chin in both hands, and listened to others discussing Lu Ning, so she couldn't help but say something. Is Lu Ning the real thing? Why don't you just go to him to learn from him? He's in the academy now. As soon as she said this, the audience suddenly became a little dumbfounded. Lu Ning's background is no secret, it can indeed be said to be poor and blank. And this kind of background can be ranked first, which is the best proof of real material. Before finding out the character of the other party, inexplicably looking for the other party to discuss at this point in time, isn't it clear that you want to offend someone? Although the children of the rich and powerful circle are dudes, they are not fools. Do you know Lu Ning? Someone suddenly thought of something and asked Kai Si. Fateful friendship, understand. Kai Si raised her chin. Then he pulled some of his girlfriends together and said, let's go and visit Lu Ning. Several of her close friends immediately became interested. See, do you really know him? He, what does that Lu Ning look like? Sister, I am a face control. He probably doesn't have a girlfriend. Finding a boyfriend who is the number 1 freshman in the academy sounds good. Listening to her best friend's words, Kai Si's complexion suddenly darkened. There is no life-threatening friendship, she just wants to send Lu Ning the 200,000 agreed before. By the way, I would like to take this opportunity to really make friends with Lu Ning. After all, her father said that for auxiliary mages, the strongest magic is connections. In the academy, Lu Ning was sitting in the living room, landing on the academy platform with relish. The Tian'an Academy of Magic platform is not open to the public, only students can log in. The college platform is extremely comprehensive. For example, if Lu Ning wants to learn a 4th order lightning magic, then he only needs to search for related words. Then there will be a detailed video explanation video of the lightning magic, as well as related 4th order lightning materials or magic weapons, props, potions, etc. Yes, there is a shopping function on the platform. The difference lies in the ones that can be bought on the market, and the prices on the college platform are not much different, just for convenience. But for things that cannot be bought on the market, certain student points and college contribution are required to be authorized to buy. The college does not force students to find a teacher to learn from, but it does not object to students doing so. Lu Ning naturally has no interest in finding a teacher, so he doesn't care about it. Besides, he also learned that the academy's students are divided into grades, with the highest grade being the sequence students. This sequence of students involves the foundation of Tian'an magic students. It is said that it is a kind of sequence magic that can be passed on, and it is one of the most powerful magics today. There can only be 1 sequence student, and currently none of the 4 grades in Tian'an College is a sequence student. Then there are quasi-sequence students, also known as pre-sequence students. The number of such students is very small, basically no more than 5 fingers in each grade, and there are naturally some among the freshmen, but they all become 5th-level mages at the age of 18, so they do not take the highest 4th-level college examination. Secondly, key students like Lu Ning. Further down are the key students, general students and pre-elimination students. Among the freshmen, there are no pre-elimination students. After passing through the first year of freshman, such a student elimination system will not be launched until the second year of the college. It means that if you don't work hard to improve yourself and waste the resources of the academy will expel you at any time. Those who make big mistakes are sometimes listed as pre-eliminated students, and the benefits of the students are reduced for punishment. Students of each level naturally have different levels of benefits. Take Lu Ning's key students as an example. He can apply for a direct cash subsidy of 300,000 yang coins every month, live in the villa dormitory on campus for free, enter the special element training room on the school once a month, and get a set of key students for free admission equipment. The matching equipment includes high-level student clothes, storage magic ring, a 5th-level magic weapon, a 5th-level magic item optional, and 3 followers. The entourage is to take care of his daily life. For male students, it is stipulated that the entourage can only be male, so as not to indulge in female gender and waste his cultivation. You said you were a male student but obsessed with masculinity. Then you are still obsessed, the college doesn't care. The welfare of key students is high, that's because the college has high requirements for key students. If the college is not satisfied with the promotion during school, such benefits will be cancelled at any time. In addition, students of Tianan College can only join Tianan Guild, and are not allowed to enter other magic guilds. Regarding the Tianan Guild, it doesn't mean that you can become an official member of them just by becoming a student of the academy. It can only be said that if you are a member of the academy, they will take you to play, for example, organizing guild members to take students out to hunt and kill monsters for experience or something. Only students above the key points can directly officially become members of the guild, and get an extra set of official guild member benefits. The treatment of a genius is really an exaggeration. Lu Ning looked at the college manual in his hand, feeling that Tianan College is really rich and powerful. What are you looking at, meow? A sudden voice rang in Lu Ning's ear. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. This made Lu Ning's whole body tense up suddenly, and when he looked back, he found that the white-haired beast-ear girl he had seen on the willow tree had appeared behind him at some point. Bai Shui seemed to enjoy Lu Ning's reaction very much, with a comical expression on his beautiful face. Without waiting for Lu Ning to speak, she then touched Lu Ning on her own. Lu Ning's horror from the beginning gradually stabilized. He looked at Bai Shui's fluffy tiger ears and how it moved, so he raised his hand to stroke it. I'm an 8th-level monster, meow. Bai Shui didn't stop Lu Ning from moving, but just said with a cute smile. Lu Ning's raised hand froze immediately and took it back. Is there anything the Warcraft seniors can do with the juniors? He asked instead. He also learned about the fact that there are strong monsters in the academy joining him through Wang's management. Aha! Bai Shui didn't answer directly, but let out a cry of surprise. The previous guess is correct. Most of the magic power in your body is the power of thunder elements, there are some special powers of lightning. Extreme, geek, special physique, elemental child magic talent. Have you ever eaten a special thunder-type treasure? Bai Shui talked to himself and kept looking at Lu Ning. Who are you? Lu Ning showed a trace of vigilance. Among other things, she could even detect the existence of the power of thunder in her body. Etc. Lu Ning's eyes froze suddenly. He seems to have been ignoring a common-sense problem. That is, most of the magic power stored in the mage's body is non-attributed, and the non-attributed magic power is converted into attribute magic power by magic formula. No wonder I can directly store magic power just by stealing some electricity. Lu Ning was stunned. Engson meow, how do you say that sentence? A genius without a secret is just a mediocrity in disguise. Yes, that's what I said, meow. Bai Shui withdrew his restless hand. She then handed a magic storage ring to Lu Ning, and said, it contains the entrance matching equipment for the key students and the reward for the first place in this unified examination. The first reward is direct cash. There are 30 million yan coins. Those monsters you hunted and killed in the unified examination room are converted into a total of 1.52 million yan coins, and they are also included. After hearing this, Lu Ning asked, magic weapons and magic props should be left to me to choose. What type of cat do you want? Thunder type. Bai Shui smiled and said, then you don't need to choose. The magic weapons and magic props inside are all the top lightning elements in the 5th level of the academy. I helped you choose Meow. And this, the attached gift Meow. It's called the Thunder Element Ring. It stores the magic power of the Thunder system. It can store up to the total amount of magic power of a 7th level mage. Bai Shui took out a white ring, which seemed to be from the same manufacturer as the ring on her ankle. Why did Senior Warcraft give this junior a gift? Lu Ning pondered. Bai Shui blinked at Lu Ning after hearing this, and said mysteriously, you understand Meow. After finishing speaking, the white-haired beast lady suddenly disappeared into the living room, and her words were still echoing in the living room. Call me Senior White from now on, Senior Warcraft is too ugly. Lu Ning looked at Lei Yuanwan on the table with a gloomy expression on his face. No matter how naive he is, he knows that a magic item that can store the total amount of magic power in the body of a 7th level mage is probably extremely valuable. How could Lu Ning not be vigilant if he simply gave it to himself? But he couldn't figure it out. Well, after a while, Lu Ning sighed. Everything has two sides. If you choose to become a genius student of the Academy of Magic, you will not only enjoy the high benefits brought by the status of a student, but you will also have to deal with the jealousy, covetousness, and evil intentions of others. But one thing to say, this beast-ear girl is really cute. Bai Shui's cute appearance is really lethal. The face is beautiful and flawless, animal ears, white hair, red eyes, talking and meowing, who can resist it? This reminded Lu Ning of the cute animal-eared girls in some animation works, and subconsciously overlapped with them. Ding dong. Before Lu Ning could open the magic storage ring, the doorbell rang. It was only then that Lu Ning realized that the beast-ear girl was not going through the right door. Pushing open the door, I saw that it was Kai Si with 3 young and lively girls. Lu Ning. Kai Si greeted with a smile, as if she was very familiar with Lu Ning. Student Kai. Well, please come in. Lu Ning roughly guessed that the other party was here to send the 200,000, so he invited the other party into the living room. He took some magic drinks and spiritual fruits rationed by the students from the refrigerator and started entertaining them. For Kai Si, as an auxiliary mage, she definitely needs a thigh. A type like Lu Ning, who has both defense and attack power, is exactly what she needs. Of course, Lu Ning will not pretend to be cold, let alone reject interpersonal communication. He is not a social terrorist, but he is not a social terrorist either. It is good or bad to have a good relationship with the students in the college. What? Women only affect the speed at which I can cast magic. But the magic potion provided by the rich woman is absolutely top-notch. Lu Ning was full of smiles and showed a gentle and easygoing manner, which made Kai Si's 3 best friends let go of some tension in their hearts. The conversation between the few people was very pleasant. Lu Ning, I just saw Senior White come out of your villa over the wall, do you have friendship with Senior White? Kai Si talked for a while, and suddenly mentioned Bai Shui. This topic caused the expressions of the other 3 girls to change. It seemed that Bai Shui tried not to mention his existence in Tianan College. There is no friendship, but that Senior White came here personally to give me the college award for being the first freshman this time. Lu Ning took the opportunity and asked the other party about the situation of Bai Shui. Lu Ning was taken aback by Kai Si's answer, and the image of the cute and clingy animal-eared girl in her heart suddenly disintegrated. Bai Shui is the animal pet of Bai Ruyan, the first-generation dean of Tianan Magic Academy who founded Tianan Magic Academy 500 years ago. She has the blood of the white tiger, one of the 4 sacred beasts, and her nature is bloodthirsty. In the past 500 years, wars broke out among the 3 empires. Bai Shui's most conspicuous achievement was to slaughter the 300,000 magic army of the Qian Empire, and it was a feat accomplished in just 1 day. In today's Tianan College, Bai Shui has almost become an existence similar to a college legend. It is said that she leapfrogged and killed the 9th-ranked Great Magister. It is said that the wicked have the King of Hades tattooed on their backs, and the King of Hades has tattoos of Bai Shui tattooed on their backs. In Tianan City, if children are disobedient, the name Baishui can stop their crying. Due to some special reasons, information about Baishui cannot be found on the internet. In addition, the founding dean of Tianan College, Bai Ruyan. This is the most talented woman in the past 500 years. She was only 29 years old when she founded Tianan Academy, and she was already a 9th-level grade magister at that time. The late Bai Ruyan's first dean, the magic she is best at can't be thunder magic or body training magic. But Lu Ning didn't lament how such an amazingly talented woman is, but asked about this aspect keenly. Kai Si shook her head. No, the magic that Dean Bai is good at is basically special magic, such as speech magic, beast control magic, contract magic, space magic, etc., but she is not very good at conventional magic. Lu Ning. 6. The special magic she just listed sounds awesome. It seems that the geniuses in the unified examination room are not the limit of geniuses in this world. Talking and talking, the topic moved away from Bai Ruyan and Bai Shui's 2 daughters. Seeing Kai Si's talkative and well-informed appearance, Lu Ning became more interested in getting to know her. He took the opportunity to ask at this time, I'm going to buy some lightning-type magic materials, and I'm also willing to buy weapons and props. However, the same type of materials sold on the Academy platform seem to be of high value. Is there any other market where the price is relatively low? Of course, Kai Si would not ask the other party what they wanted to buy magic materials. Instead, after a little thought, the answer came to my mind. There are several options. The first one is to use the Tianan Guild as a guarantee, allowing you to purchase it in installments, so that the cash flow in your hands can be maximized. Secondly, becoming an honorary consultant of a large company will allow you to enjoy internal preferential prices, but becoming an honorary consultant will have many restrictions. The third one is the black market in the underground city in the border town of Tianan province, which is full of dirty goods from killing people. Kai Si spoke clearly and logically, and seemed to be very involved in this aspect. At this time, Kai Si's 3 girlfriends seemed to know that there was nothing wrong with them, so they naturally found a reason to leave first. After her girlfriend left, Kai Si laughed, then took out a bank card and handed it to Lu Ning. Here, the 200,000 promised earlier, an anonymous bank card without a password. Kai Si could see that Lu Ning should be in urgent need of cash now. Then he gave another idea, saying, you can get some cash out of the magic entourage quota of key students. As a key student's magic entourage, you can completely treat it as an ordinary academy student. You sell the quota, and 1 quota is 500 yuan per year. There is absolutely no shortage of buyers. After Lu Ning heard this, his face was full of smiles. Yes, this girl is very good at it. Some rich people who are not short of money, their heirs cannot enter the academy with their strength, but they can use this roundabout way. After all, just talking about the environment in Tianan College is enough for people to rush in. For the quota of magic attendance, can you trouble classmate Kai to be an intermediary for me? No problem, leave it to me. Okay, can we go to the underground city black market now? Of course, I've been there more than once. It's convenient to talk to smart people. Lu Ning pushed back the bank card handed over by the other party as a reward. Then, he and Kai Si left the student's villa. Just use my magic projectile. After Kai Si finished speaking, with a wave of her hand, a magic flying carpet flew out of the storage bracelet and landed in front of the 2 of them. The college unified examination assesses the candidate's own strength, excluding foreign objects. But for mages, foreign objects are precisely the biggest variable in measuring combat power. Magic weapons, magic props, special magic potions, magic discs, etc. With the help of enough and outstanding foreign objects, it is also common for mages to leapfrog. Like the magic flying carpet that Kai Si just took out. Its maximum flight speed can reach 300 km per hour, and it can hold up a magic shield to avoid the influence of wind during the flight. It is equivalent to carrying a high-speed rail with you. The border town of Tianan province borders the Yangwang Mountains. This mountain range is also the dividing line between the Yan Empire and the Huang Empire. There are countless monsters in it, and it is the best place for mages to grab wealth. But in the wild, there are no legal restrictions. Incidents of murder and robbery are happening all the time. The Yangwang mountain range is no different than the college examination room. The number of monsters in each area has been carefully planned. Hunting and killing monsters in the Yanwang Mountains, if one accidentally caused a wave of beasts or was targeted by high-level monsters, they would basically end up dying at the speed of light, which was extremely dangerous. But if it is only for human mages, although there are risks, the rewards are too great. Murder and set fire to the Golden Belt, these words are not aimless. It is impossible for those dirty things that kill people and sell goods to be circulated in the market, so there is a black marketplace like the border town dungeon. Yan Empire officials just turned a blind eye to this. Sitting cross-legged on the magic flying carpet, Lu Ning couldn't help feeling a little emotional as he watched the surrounding city scenery swiftly pass by in front of his eyes. He is a little strange. The Dragon Slayer mage should have to vomit when he rides a vehicle, but he doesn't have such side effects. Kai Si at the side controlled the flight while peeking at Lu Ning's profile. What's wrong? Sensing the girl's gaze, Lu Ning turned around and asked. Kai Si said with a playful smile. It's nothing. If I want to go to the field for training in the future, can I invite you to go with me? Of course, having an assistant mage by your side is something that many people dream of. Lu Ning readily agreed. The role of the auxiliary mage is no worse than that of the main circa. And judging from Kai Mizi's milk volume, it should not be small. Thinking of the amount of milk, as a male, Lu Ning instinctively glanced at Sister Chi's breasts. Seeing this, she was a little startled. Kai Mizi is not big, but she can't see her toes when she looks down. Hey, we're here. Seeing that Lu Ning's eyes suddenly moved down, and her face was a little shy, Kai Si quickly changed the subject. The speed of this magic flying carpet is indeed impressive, and it flew from Tianan City to the border town in less than 2 hours. After landing, Kai Si gave Lu Ning a mask as a simple disguise. After all, it's a black market, and it's always inappropriate to buy dirty things swaggeringly. Then, led by Kai Si, they walked into the dungeon. The environment of the entire dungeon is dirty and messy, and the smell is very pungent. There are several intersecting roads, and there are small businesses similar to stalls on both sides of each road. The things sold by those small businesses may sometimes find good things, but most of them are bluffing people. I will take you to the largest underground organization here, the Black Underworld Chamber of Commerce. Kai Si is familiar with the road. She took Lu Ning all the way to a shop, and after a few secret words with the shop assistant, she was invited into the back hall. The back hall is a casino hall, very lively. In front of the casino lobby, there is an auction table for temporary commodity auctions to enliven the atmosphere. What surprised Lu Ning was that when he first came in, the one that was being auctioned was a beautiful human girl, who was auctioned off at a price of 1.4 million. Lu Ning vaguely heard others talking about this human girl from the Qian Empire, who was captured in the wild and caste enslaving magic, becoming a slave. Although the three empires have long since lost slavery, in the dark world, the industry in this area has always been very active. Kai Si was used to this sikong. Her expression didn't change much, but Lu Ning's mood fluctuated slightly. You two are welcome. Is there anything I can help you with? My humble servant is Chen Su, a trade executive of the Black Underworld Chamber of Commerce. At this time, a well-dressed middle-aged man walked towards him. We want to buy some lightning-type magic materials, including some lightning-type magic weapons and props. Can I trouble Executive Chen to prepare a sales list in advance? Of course, this is my honor. Chen Su bowed slightly, and immediately ordered someone to prepare the list. And he himself began to introduce the Black Underworld Chamber of Commerce to Lu Ning. His introduction is very interesting. He didn't say which industries the Black Underworld Chamber of Commerce is involved in, but simply told you that their president is a 9th-level Great Magister, and there is no shortage of other high-level magisters as shareholders or honorary advisors of the Chamber of Commerce. The implication is to tell you that my Dark Chamber of Commerce is very strong, so you can rest assured that PY transactions. Lu Ning just smiled and said nothing. Sure enough, in the extraordinary world, everything except strength is imaginary. In his world, the weak can still gain a certain status through resourcefulness, but here, the 9th-level Great Magister itself symbolizes the status of the Overlord. Soon, the list was brought over. Lu Ning took it and saw that the price of these dirty things was indeed much cheaper than the Academy platform. Of course, there was no after-sales service. As for magic weapons and props, The Black Underworld Chamber of Commerce seems to be stuck at the 5th order level, and only took out the ones below the 5th order. Presumably, the Black Underworld Chamber of Commerce also has a membership hierarchy. He didn't ask too many questions, he chose a lot of lightning-type materials, and bought all the 30 million flame coins on his body. When Chen Su, the trade deacon, saw that the order was over 10 million, the enthusiasm on his face became even stronger. Two distinguished guests, let's go to the room inside to discuss in detail, and hand over the goods there. He hastily invited. After an hour, satisfied, Lu Ning and Kai Si left the Black Chamber of Commerce with an extra card in his hand, and he became a VIP 1 customer of the Black Chamber of Commerce. The highest level is VIP 3, and it cannot be won without a transaction volume of 880 million. Go back directly. Seeing that Lu Ning was rushing to leave the dungeon, Kai Si couldn't help asking. Come back when you have time. Lu Ning hummed. He wants to go back immediately to eat, relying on these lightning-type materials to quickly improve his strength. You must know the reward rate for his daily sign-in, and the total amount of magic power in it is determined according to his own strength. It is the easiest to improve strength in the early stage. If one's own level reaches the level of a magister like the 7th or 8th level, it is afraid that no matter how much the general lightning material is eaten, it will not have much effect. When the two were about to leave the dungeon, Lu Ning suddenly looked at a group of people also wearing masks. What's wrong? Kai Si couldn't help asking. Nothing. Lu Ning touched his nose. When they passed each other just now, one of them smelled very strange. Lu Ning didn't pay too much attention to it either. There are all kinds of dungeons. So far, Lu Ning's simple visit to the underground city and black market has come to an end. Next, it's time to test your appetite. When going back, Sister Kai thought carefully. That is to deliberately slow down the speed of the flying carpet so that she and Lu Ning can talk more and enhance the companionship between the two. Lu Ning doesn't tell the truth, but actually chatting with others is also an interesting thing. This also means that he is beginning to integrate into this world in a real sense. Waiting to go back to school, Lu Ning immediately applied to enter the special element training room of the academy. The so-called elemental training room is to use elemental spar through a specific magic circle to create a closed environment with extremely strong elemental power. Comprehending magic in this environment has the effect of getting twice the result with half the effort. It's just that because of the high cost, even key students can only enter once a month for free. And the limited time for one practice is 3 days. Entering the special training room as the number 1 freshman is naturally a matter of course. Of course, the choice is also the cultivation environment of the thunder element. At this very moment, Lu Ning sat cross-legged in the center of the practice room, surrounded by thunder elements that were almost visible to the naked eye, as if countless electrons were flowing in the space, giving people an extremely strong sense of magical reality. Lu Ning opened his mouth suddenly and sucked. However, it was discovered that this environment could not satisfy the devouring growth of Dragon Slayer magic, and could only be used for recovery. He hesitated no more. First of all, take out the 5th order magic weapon, which is a knife weapon called Lei Hang Dao. The Lei Hang Dao has the power-enhancing effect of thunder-type magic, and the blade is engraved with a thunder-type magic circle, which can be activated with magic power to perform the fixed move of Lightning Sword. In addition, it can also actively store magic power to a certain extent. Of course, it is also very strong and will not be easily damaged. Lu Ning took a look and left Lei Hang Dao temporarily. Then there is another 5th order magic item, which is quite interesting. It is an extremely precious life-saving item called Thunder Teleportation Talisman. When this symbol is activated, the user can be teleported 100 kilometers away in an instant. The special feature of this talisman is that it is activated with the power of thunder. With the help of the extremely fast characteristic of the thunder element, it can save a lot of activation time. Although the teleportation distance is not far, Kusheng can trigger the teleportation at the moment of activation. Teleportation talismans are extremely precious magic props, among which the small teleportation talisman, 1,000 miles, and the 10,000-mile teleportation talisman are basically priceless. Bai Shui didn't lie to me. These two weapons and props should be the top of the 5th rank. Lu Ning put away the thunder teleporter. At this time, he really started to swallow, various types of lightning-type materials purchased from the black market. Crunch, crunch. The sound of Lu Ning chewing was very harsh in the closed practice room. The corners of the mouth even burst out from time to time with slight arcs of thunder. Tier 4 is the threshold for middle-level mages, but the real watershed still starts from Tier 4 to Tier 5. This is because, at the level of 5th order magic, mages need not only magic power, but also spiritual power. Even if the level of magic power in the body is only 4th level, but the mental power is enough, it can also cast 5th level magic, but the power is relatively weak. But the reverse doesn't work, which shows the importance of spiritual power to mages. And for body refining mages, the 4th to 5th ranks are also a watershed. The key to body refining magic lies in the fusion of magic power and physical body. Only a strong enough physical body can absorb high enough magic power, yes, absorb or fuse, rather than accommodate and store. From the 4th level to the 5th level, the magic power in the mage's body will usher in a qualitative change. If we talk about the status of the 4th level and previous mage magic levels, then it can be described as a gaseous state. But at the 5th level, it is a process of gradually turning into a liquid state. Compressing the magic power in the body into a liquid state that undergoes qualitative changes requires both talent and hard work and persistence. ZZZ. After eating a complete piece of lightning material, the first thing Lu Ning felt was not the total amount of magic power in his body, but the change in physical strength. An extremely strong sense came to my heart. The power of thunder and lightning is tempering his whole body. He opened his personal panel in real time, and found that the value on the physique column also continued to rise. Sure enough, Lu Ning suddenly felt a little excited. The physique of the Dragon Slayer magician is strong, but because he obtained the Dragon Slayer magic in the body of an ordinary person before, his body needs a buffer, and there must be a gradual process of gradually becoming stronger. Now, through the method of swallowing, this process has been greatly accelerated. The physical strength changes first, followed by the magic power in the body. To Lu Ning's astonishment, the power of the sky thunder is obviously the power of a higher level thunder element. After the power of the sky thunder absorbed the magic power of the thunder element transformed by devouring, it actually began to grow gradually, slowly absorbing the power of other inferior thunder elements. This is a good sign. Explain that the level of magic power in Lu Ning's body will change from gaseous state to liquid state smoothly. Eat, eat, eat. Dragon Slayer magic. Let me see where your limit is. Lu Ning took out the lightning-type materials in one go, and began to grab and devour them one by one. After 3 days in a row, Lu Ning just finished eating all the lightning-type materials. At this very moment, he opened his personal panel. Host, Lu Ning. Realm, 5th order. Total magic power, 133,000. Constitution, 620. Talent, Thunder Apprentice increases a certain affinity for thunder elements. Ability moves, Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic, White Thunder, Thunder Shield, Lightning Stone Fire, Sikong Shock. Full set of skills. Weapons and props, Yulei Talisman, Tianlizi, Leiyinmu. Within 3 days, Lu Ning signed in 3 times with the total amount of magic power, but the increase value was 3,000, 7,000, and 11,000 in sequence, which was steadily increasing. According to this increase rate, there will be another 10 sign in rewards for the total amount of magic power, and the total amount of magic power will easily exceed 300,000. It took only half a month to go from an ordinary person to a 5th level mage. Although Lu Ning had been mentally prepared for a long time, but the increase in strength still made him feel dazed. The rapid improvement in strength gave him an unrealistic feeling. Lu Ning patted his face with both hands, suddenly a little dazed. So smooth. A good batch. Could it be that? Could it be that this world exists purely to make me, Lu Ning, happy? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.